What's good, bro? It's been a long time in the making, but here we are doing a podcast together. First of all, why the fuck are we doing this?
Don't know, man. We were having a call maybe a couple of days ago, and we just
Yeah,
decided let's have a podcast. And because all the time we're having these long conversations when we're typically working over stuff, AI, Instagram, and we're like, shit, like literally we talk about so many interesting things, how we think, the creative side of things, problem solving, business, and scaling.
yeah. So we were like, let's just bring this conversation online because I feel like it's too much, too much motion that like we have that not a lot of people have, right? And I feel like there's sort of like the way we think about you think about your field and the way I think about my field is something that is very rare. Like I think people become when they get into business, they get very like nerdy and geeky and they become business specific. But we sort of approach our own industries and fields as sort of like this 360-degree angle, right? Like how we do one thing is how we do everything, kind of a thing. And we're like so consumed by what we do that it's everything, right? Like for you, like your AI isn't just like AI. It isn't just what you do for work. It's your life is your business. You are the business, right? In a sense, that's how we treat our lives. So I just wanted to like do this conversation and document it to like share those ideas and share those perspectives and share those views because I feel like it's worth documenting these things.
Yeah, man. I mean, to each their own, right? If we were choose to be a bit more flamboyant with the way we live and what we do, that just
Yeah,
because that aligns with our personality, right? Like, I know so many interesting people, man, in San Francisco running SaaS companies. Some of the biggest ones that are getting the fundings and they're
yeah,
absolutely killing it. And yeah, for us, it's it's not like work anymore, right? It's just like work is play. That is like the
yeah.
outlet of just expending all the energy we have, and that kind of just translates through all mechanisms of life, whether that's opening up bigger opportunities, climbing up the status game, the social game, the networking game. That's just a vehicle towards it.
100%, 100%. Before we dive into any of our like mindset or like our mental models and our the way we approach life and play, right? Or like life is play, play is life. But the point is, I want to like ask you first of all, like, what do you do, man? Like, what's if you want to give a bit of an introduction, please go ahead and then I'll go ahead and introduce myself and then we'll talk about how we actually met and how this entire dynamic started off. But do you want to get into what you do?
Yeah, I mean, number one, I don't know why it's 5 a.m. over here and I'm sitting recording a podcast, but I essentially have a couple of AI companies and high level, we build AI infrastructure for Fortune 500s, hedge funds, some really big e-com brands as well, where we essentially implement AI in the entire operations end to end, where we work with the C-suite, the managing directors, the stakeholder of the companies, the CEOs, who really are looking, man. They are looking, that's the thing. Every week there's a new model that comes out. Everyone's trying to understand AI, correct? And unfortunately, most people are just really stuck in the chatbot side of things, where they're dumping all of their information, all of their thoughts. They're uploading raw documents in a very unstructured manner in Claude projects. But they do feel that they're getting some efficiency out of it because obviously these models are so intelligent at this point that it's really hard to not get some type of value out of it. But how do you really structure that and translate that to core business metrics, boosting your revenue, decreasing your margins? Correct. Then you can go so deep into it as you like actually go into a process specifically from first principles. And I've been doing this for a year and a half now. It's grown a big brand on LinkedIn. That's kind of how it started. And that's a solid form of client acquisition for us. Based in LA over here. And yeah, that's what it is. How Moksha and I met actually was interesting. I think it was December or January 2026.
Yep.
I was looking to grow my Instagram brand, right? I done for myself on LinkedIn and Twitter, but I'm like, shit, man. Instagram's like a totally different game because LinkedIn and Twitter is very much about copy, and they're almost like tangential. The two platforms. Like if you're good at one of them, you can pretty easily, if you like try to understand the culture of that platform, you can reverse engineer that same process to the other one. But Instagram's a different ballpark, right? It's so visual.
Yeah.
You have to speak. You have to. It's really about storytelling as well, and I was like, I want to build a cool Instagram profile. My LinkedIn and Twitter is very life. I'm sorry, it's very business. It's very
Yeah.
pure thought leadership, pure authoritative, just me talking about AI implementation, right? But for Instagram, I'm like, dude, like especially since I moved to LA, I quite quickly understood that this is like it's important, you know, it's definitely like an unfair advantage that if you like tap into it, just like click this button and you can build it, like why wouldn't you do it? It's almost like
Hmm.
that's the first thing when you meet anyone interesting in LA. The first thing you're gonna exchange is your Instagram if you exchange something. Sure, you can exchange phone
Yeah.
numbers, but Instagram is just so much more powerful. It's like your social media of WhatsApp. You share your entire life, and
Yeah.
if you do it in a curated, tasteful manner, takes you places.
For sure.
And I was looking for a personal brand. I used my AI to do deep research on every single person in the industry, agencies, other folks talking about it, got on a bunch of calls. And at the end of the day, Mox was the only one who made sense, bro. You're like the only one I've told multiple times who had like a badass personal brand. Because I want a personal brand, man. A lot of the people like who we kind of grew up watching and, you know, kind of wanting to make money online, they had cool personal brands. Their Instagram was not just like, oh, here's my business or something, right?
For
And
sure.
I feel like we're young, charismatic people who are doing interesting stuff, and we should absolutely leverage that. Like, why the hell would we
100%.
not?
Yeah, bro, and that's what, like, even working with you over the last few months, I've learned so much from you when it comes to the world of AI, and a lot of like what we do in the company. And I'm sure you know about it, right? Like you know a lot about the inner operations. Obviously, not the newer stuff that we're doing from the fulfillment end of like fulfillment side of things, but I think I've walked you through it, and a lot of it is, as you know, is inspired by the way you've taught us, like over time, like the feedback you've given us, right, on the cloud projects initially, how to context engineer better, right? You know, how to like think about AI infrastructure, and how to think about, you know, how to treat AI as a living, breathing organism. So I feel like it's such a, like both of our industries just come together so beautifully, where it's like one feeds the other, right? For you with AI, like distribution is the moat. Like why Fortune 500s buy from you is because of our in margin. It's not because of like the actual obviously, it is because of the actual implementation and the infrastructure. But the moat over here, which gets them to book a call with you, is your personal brand on LinkedIn first. And now that you have that network, all of that has come from the personal brand, right? And for me to be able to like run the company with a lean team, right? And obviously like lean down over time now moving forward and sort of like really leave like a mark on the industry, right? For me, the biggest lever is going to be AI, right? Like how quickly can we implement AI, right? And how can we like engineer AI and engineer context in the company so well that we have the most, you know, unique insight into the market, right? We're able to like cut through the market. That's our goal as well. So I think it's such a symbiotic relationship that we have now, that it's just fucking cool. Like what you set up for me last week was insane. The business brain that we can obviously dive into later on the call, but
We have a
yeah,
mission, bro.
it's
We have a mission
sorry.
at the end of the year. We have a mission for how many, I don't know if I should say this, but how many employees will you have by the end of the year? Let's see.
Yeah, bro. We want to get to a 3-person team, hopefully. Let's see. 3-person team, and gotta get to
Let's see
six
who
figures.
survives the
That's the
cut
goal.
or if AI replaces everyone.
That I mean, but I genuinely feel like
Ah, dude,
now
the
that
reason
like
we
you
talk
set up
about
the
is like,
business brain last week. Sorry,
yeah. Now, I was
I
saying
do
the
feel
reason
like
we
it's
just get
possible.
along well, bro, is because we're just like fucking like we just get along super well, bro. We're just like it's a
Yeah,
shame that I'm in the US and you're based in India. Like how many times I told you
yeah,
like come I wish I could come, but I just cannot right now. But
yeah,
eventually when we link up, bro, like if you're living like in LA, we would 100% be living together and like, you know, just like
yeah.
doing things together all the time.
I think that was the initial conversation that we had on the sales call as well, where I was like, "Yeah, bro, like I feel like you would hit it off so well. It's gonna be so easy for me to build your personal brand because like personalities match, bro. Personalities just match. Like it's like you're young, you're able to see me. Hello.
Yeah, now I can. You lag for a sec, dude, like
Yeah.
bad.
My bad, bro. Yeah, the internet
Yeah.
here in Gujarat is a little wonky. But yeah, what I was saying is that like we're both 22. You know, we have a lot of like things going on in our life outside of business, and I feel like just that personality was so easy for me to market because I was just like, cool, I'm gonna treat Aryan's personal brand exactly how I treat mine, just with a few tweaks here and there, right? So that was perfect. That dynamic worked out really well. I want to dive a little bit more into your backstory. I'm sure you've spoken about it multiple times on Instagram, but you know what got you into what you're doing right now? You know, how did you land on AI infrastructure? I feel like that story is really cool for people to know. So I want to hear a bit more about like the Broke Dubai story. Let's dive into it a little bit.
Bro, you know something that's interesting? you can ask any of my close friends in college. I used to hate computer science. I would
Yeah,
go for 2 classes a year every semester. The first class and the last class. I would just bunk everything else, just doing whatever I wanted. Because I had to go for the first, and not the first class, technically, three. The first
yeah,
class, then the mid exam class, final exam, because you have to
yeah,
be there in person. Otherwise, I would
yeah,
never go for any class in college. I just like hated it, bro. It was just not my
yeah.
thing, dude. Like sitting there and just studying and listening to someone, I couldn't do that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of got started. It's typical, I had an internship. I was my third year in college, probably. You have to get an internship. Oh, now you have to start making up your resume, start doing projects, all the freaking, like, just the typical stuff, which again, great like for the people who try to do it, but just I couldn't do it, bro. Like I just couldn't. And if I know I'm the kind of person, I need to enjoy what I'm doing, and I need to be solving like problems that I find really interesting, because that is what gives me energy. The reason, like, we've been on call since actually 3 or 4 a.m. doing a couple of other things. The reason I have
Yeah,
like so much energy all the time, and like, my sleep schedule, there's no sleep schedule. It's because
yeah,
I think you really need to be working on things that you find interesting. Otherwise, it's going to be soul sucking out of you. You like quite literally. Even there have even
yeah,
been moments with
100%.
my business when I am making, told you, like an offer I cut down recently, where it makes great recurring revenue, but on a monthly basis. But I just don't want to do that shit anymore. Like what it takes for
Mm.
fulfillment and the entire process. Um,
Yeah,
and I've always kind of person. So yeah, college happened, and I was trying a bunch of business models, bro. I've told you like so many things. I started with trying to sell soccer
t-shirt
jerseys.
reselling.
Did.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep. Bro, even now, if I restarted again, I would know exactly which jerseys to sell on eBay.
bro.
Because with the
Let me
World Cup
give them a
going,
list. Let me give them a list. There was t-shirt soccer reselling on eBay. Then he got banned. Then he got into the Hustlers University, Andrew Tate. Then he tried copywriting. That's right. And then you became like super high on the
yep.
leaderboard with copywriting as a skill. So that's where you found the confidence. Oh, if I like actually lock into a skill, I think I can really like get good at it, right? And then from there you got into high
Yeah,
ticket
I
sales.
never.
Was it?
I was actually never in the copywriting campus. They have one, but I never found it
Hmm.
interesting again.
Hmm.
I was in the video editing. I was never number one on any leaderboard, not up to that point. I just used to I put like 2,000 hours plus on CapCut, but I'll just be sitting and
Fuck.
trying to perfect it and put it on the for get review from coaches, but I never did the outreach, the thing that actually makes money. I was like literally doing it
Yeah.
retardedly.
But
I
I
put
feel like
a lot of time into that. Then
that's exactly what school sort of conditions you to do, right? Especially for like
yeah,
I feel like both of us come from
yeah,
backgrounds in India that are not exactly like
yeah,
underprivileged backgrounds, right? We come from like good households, and because I've gone to a decent, like not a great school. It was a CBSE board school in India, right? But that too, and also like university, it just conditions you in a way to not go out there and do shit. It's more like, oh, let's get good grades, which is so fucked up, right? Because doing perfect work is not never what's going to make you win. Being loud about your work and going out there and selling is what actually makes the biggest difference, right? And that is what
yeah,
takes balls. That's what takes like guts, right? And I think where did you
yeah.
unlock those guts? Was it when you got into high ticket sales after video editing, or what was it? What was that moment for you?
Kinda. It was guts. It's just like, again, I think everything looking back now makes sense. I just couldn't cold email people, bro. I freaking hate
Mm,
cold emailing. The way they taught us for client acquisition was cold emailing a bunch of like find like, you'd go on like one of those lead platforms, Apollo, whatever, find the right person, the CMO of this company or something, and send them a
yeah,
freaking MP4 file. I did it for a bit. I'm like, this shit doesn't work. Like I just didn't see, for me, I need to at least, even back then, like how unexperienced I was with everything. If I cannot mentally, like intuitively feel like there's a path ahead, like something, like I'm working towards something that's gonna give me like the results I'm looking for, something where it's almost like even I cannot fathom how big they are, I'm just not gonna do it. And that's how I just
yeah.
got bored of video editing. I think I stopped it, and then what I started was cold calling. Did cold calling, and I was doing high ticket sales, and that's kind of when I started getting more out there, at least with the process of selling things. And
Mm-hmm.
that was when actually I was in this another community. I think I paid like $3,000 every single time I'd make any money or whatever I had. It would go straight into coaching, mentorship, or something. I think
Yeah,
that was also a form of me always trying to put myself under stress, because otherwise it's so cozy, dude. It's so easy. Like even in the States, bro, like you could genuinely be making no money and still just coast by. Food is dirt
yeah,
cheap. Rent is really all that expensive if you really just find some spot. Correct. It definitely gets a lot more expensive as you try to like scale through life or you're trying to, like experience the finer things. But
Yeah.
I think I was cold calling in this community, and the guy, the coach, the guy who was interviewing me for the job, super, he was like, super like putting on this persona. And I remember, of course, back then I was a lot more timid because my first time I was
Yeah.
definitely nervous with cold calling. I wasn't nervous with cold calling, but I'm like zero confidence. I've never done any selling in my life. Like literally just go
Yeah.
and sell. They had some
Yeah.
shitty digital marketing, bro. And at first, I showed up every day. I was actually waking up every day at 4 a.m. in the US because I had to cold call in the UK. I couldn't cold call in the US because I had a job technically back then, right? That was just like
Yeah.
when I had like we had a brief stint of a job, with Ticketmaster. So I'd wake up
Yeah.
every day at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. to call in the UK, and I would do it for like 4 or 5 hours, and then I'd get onto my thing. And within 2 months, dude, I was the best. I was the one who got the most calls. It didn't make me any
Mm.
money because, again, I was so inexperienced. And essentially, like, I'd get them on calls. Like, my job was basically appointment setting, but calling, you could almost say.
Yeah.
But then I'd get
Dialing.
them on
Yeah.
call, got the offer, right? And bro, those
Yeah.
people would not show up on the freaking calls. They would not show up on their own sales calls.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how
The
that's
the closers
amateur.
or the prospects you were calling.
The CEO of the company or the guy who
That's
ran that
fucked up,
digital
bro.
marketing.
That's fucked up, dude. Yeah. Yeah.
That's how amateur everything is, though, in the money making world. Again, back then you don't realize we're like, okay, enough of this thing. And eventually, I think I ended up in Dubai. The
Bro,
way I started
90,
cold calling as well
90%,
was
90% of the online make money world is so fucked up, right? Like as good as it looks in the marketing, you got to go and see the back end operation to like really realize how fucked up the online money making space is. But yeah, anyways, you went to the mastermind in Dubai.
Yep, I ended up in Dubai. It was supposed to be a 2 day long trip just for a mastermind. There's this online big personal brand, and of course, he was like, again, like we're talking about personal brands. He had a cool one, he had a bunch of whips, supercars, whatever. And I went for his mastermind, in Dubai, 2 days, sorry. And I was staying at the Paramount Hotel. And at the same day, like I landed maybe early in the morning, and the same night, around 2 a.m., I just come back from the hookah lounge. I met these two dudes in their mid 40s. They just seemed cool, bro. Honestly, like you know what, bro? I just remembered I had come from one of the coal high ticket sales. I was doing high ticket sales. So I was in another
You came
community,
from the
which
interview,
I'd
right?
paid to be in close.
Close Luke Alexander, yeah.
No, the interview was Yeah, the interview was on the computer, and I was in the closer cartel. So that's when I definitely got really good at sending Loom videos because I started understanding like, and this was definitely high ticket sales was way more enjoyable than cold calling. Offer, it's kind of online money. You sit on calls like these, once you get the thing, and even if you're cold calling, like it's definitely a lot more enjoyable. You just have to sell for right
Mm,
offer, but again, it's not something that you don't want to be the high ticket closer, dude. You got to own your own offer, your own product or something, and be just the best at what you do. Because
I
you're always
agree.
otherwise going to be at the vicinity of other people, decision making, how they feel, and what they're doing. And I had left the hookah lounge. We were in the marina, by the way. It was like with everyone.
Yeah.
This was one day before the mastermind. Everyone who was attending, we'd made a plan on like a Telegram group or something. Let's have a meet at the hookah lounge in the marina. It's like an outdoor cool
Yeah.
place. So when I was coming back, I had to come back early because I had this cold call interview or this high ticket sales interview. My bad. At 1 a.m. because they're in the US. So obviously the time zone typically it's always happening like that. So
Yeah.
when it's 1 a.m. for me, it's like probably for them EST.
Mm,
I came, I did it, it went well. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's like sales is just being good with people. If you just have good
that's
energy and
true.
stuff. And then around 2 a.m., I was kind of bored now. I'm wide awake. I was on the top floor of the Paramount Hotel, and I go out and I just see these two cool people, bro. They were chain smoking a cigarette. They just had a cool aura. I can't lie. Um, went we started speaking, and they were showing me pictures. Like one of them, the Spanish dude one of them was from Canary Islands. He's looking back now, bro. He's just like a lot of family money. His family has influence in the Canary Islands in Spain,
Mm.
but again, he had connections, bro. Like he was showing me pictures with Marcelo, Ronaldo, Black Coffee, like big names, and I'm like,
Trust
who the
fund
hell
kid.
is this
Yeah.
dude? Like, back then,
Yeah.
like now it's pretty normal. Like now that I live in LA and I've done something for myself, I'm like I know quite a few of these people myself, and it's like it's
Yeah.
not a big deal anymore, right?
Man
But
hangs out with
back
Bruno
then, like straight
Mars.
out, yeah, yeah, I remember that day. Yeah, But
Yeah.
that was a while ago. It's been a while. But back then, dude, so green out of college. We've lived such as like in college and school, bro. You live such a not a sheltered life, but you live like such. Your world is so small, and yet you think it's so
I
big. It's so
agree.
interesting. In high
Yeah.
school, who's that girlfriend who's the most popular person, and same goes to college, and then you kind of touch it base with the real world, and like this ain't shit.
Yeah, that's true. That's so fucking true. Like going out, and I've heard this quote like growing up quite a bit, right? Even like my parents would say, like going out, the real world is like different, right? The world outside is different. The world I never truly got it till I actually got in it, right? Like once you like start doing your own shit, and once you start scaling your own business and dealing with like actual clients and customers and like actual team members and taking rejection, that's when you're like, oh yeah, this is the real world, right? But yeah, most people never actually confront that reality altogether, right? Most people want to like stay in a system. Most
Uh,
people want to like follow the rules, right? And it's just sadly how 90% of the world thinks. And yeah, that's just the way it is. Where you were saying you met the guy who was chain smoking the cigarettes, and then what happened?
yeah, man, I met him and then the other guy. They were funny, bro. They were definitely like interesting characters. Even by now, if I met them, like a- again, like a lot of the stuff they said, bullshitters, whatnot. But I don't have that bullshit radar on now. I at least even
Yeah,
now you have to keep developing that as you move in life. But back then, you don't have a
yeah,
bullshit radar, so nothing like the red
yeah,
flags and everything. They don't scream at you.
yeah.
And
True.
then we went to the bars on the same floor. We had a couple of shots. They were already drinking. They smoke a lot, bro. Those two smoke like insane amount. But and even
Yeah.
back then, like I'll grab a cig once in a while. And we were just
Hmm.
we had a couple of shots, and then they gave me the sell me the pen from I think what movie is it from? Is it from
Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of
Was
Wall
it the
Street,
Wolf of
right?
Wall Street? It
They
is the
gave me
Wolf of
that,
Wall
and I
Street.
knew
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Leonardo. Yeah, I've seen it. Um,
Yeah.
And I nailed it, bro. Of course, when you're a little bit drunk, and we weren't drunk, obviously, but maybe like two shots in one shot or something. Definitely, it was easy, bro. I'd come up with this unorthodox approach. I don't even know what I said, but they love me. They genuinely like me quite a bit, and they're like, just stay, man. Like, I was obviously very disenfranchised almost with what I was anyways doing. I didn't want to go back to the States because I'm like, there's nothing for me to do there right now. I just don't want to go back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? I was pretty much alone in Dallas all the time. I was staying in Dallas about that time. Just by myself. I didn't know anyone. I was just always in the room trying to make money. I had a couple of online friends. So my life was on paper very lonely. Even though I'd been in Dallas for like 2 months, just after I left college, I didn't become friends with anyone because I was just trying to figure out how to do this, make money, bro. I was all the time just trying to work. I was just working all the time. And I
Hmm.
didn't want to go back because I'm like, yeah, I just don't want to. Dubai is badass, dude. And like Dubai, everyone always asks me, bro, here in LA, like, what is Dubai like? Because Dubai is like this enchanted, like almost this it's this mystical place because you'd be surprised, but most people over here in US or LA, especially people who are native to this country, born over here, they have never really left the US. If they've traveled, it's really just around Mexico, Canada, a little bit towards Europe, but then never made the whole round trip all the way to Asia. That's very common. If
Yeah.
when you come over here, you'll notice that people will ask you all the time, like, "How's India like?" All the time they're
Bro,
gonna ask
even
you.
even Europe though, right? Like I think a lot of Americans don't even know how Europe looks like. I've heard like stories of people saying that, oh, I mean, obviously, like in Europe, when you're booking some place, you get an AC option and a non-AC option, and most Americans are like, oh, what do you mean non-AC option? Does that even exist, right? So yeah. Also, like when I was in Australia, obviously, like if there's any Americans watching, I hope they don't get offended. But when I was in Australia and we had like American exchange kids come from NYU, people in uni would just
Yeah,
be like, "Yeah, Americans are dumb." Like that. That was the stereotype.
yeah. Americans ain't that dumb. They're smart people here for sure, here and there.
Yeah.
But either way, I remember the first time I landed in Dubai because I lived in Qatar before that, the Middle East. I've been to Dubai, but as a kid, I never really visited. I would say when I was like more conscious almost. And
Yeah.
dude, the first day I landed, it was obvious. It hits like crack when you land. The first time
Yeah.
in Dubai, you've seen it. You were in Dubai, I think,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. I've
Jan
been.
or something.
I was December, middle of December.
December, yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane. You're correct. And it's such a
It's a
different
good
vibe
one.
because I've been like India or US and it's just like different, dude. It's like the air you're breathing is different. You just feel revitalized. And
Yeah.
I kind of didn't want to leave Dubai. It was also a part of me just like want to be here. I want to live here. that's definitely something that contributed to me just then making the rash decision. But long story short, I ended up pulling the trigger. I said like, yeah, I'm not going back to the US. I'm not doing. I'm staying here. I'm doing this. They told me let's do commodity trading. Commodity trading, bro, in Dubai, it's a big thing, dude. Everyone freaking there's trying to freaking sell copper cathode, diamonds, and they're all like talking big. Oh, this deal is this much. None of them freaking close, bro. Like the game is so much harder. You know, money making is not just you snap your fingers and just stuff happens. And these people are trying to talk about minimum or 7 figure deals, 8 figure deals like it's anything, and none of them close. You know, it's just like
Yeah.
shiny object. Everyone just thinks thing will happen, leads nowhere. At least the people I was doing it with.
Yeah,
I saw
it's
those
like
two, like
talking
the two
about
people.
your it's like talking about what your pipeline's worth compared to what your cash collected is, right?
That's a
Yeah.
that's a good analogy. Yep,
Yeah.
pretty similar to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep, pretty much. And
Yeah.
I pulled the trigger, decided to stay in Dubai, and that was it, bro. And I had no backup plan. I had no source of revenue. I just had a couple of $1,000 to my account. And I think around the second or third day, I gave all of that cash to one of them, the other guy, not the Canary Islands dude, the other guy who's from Australia. He does capital markets. And again, I'm so naive, bro. I just gave him my money. Why? Because he said, bro, I'm in process of raising money for my company right now. And I'll double your money in like 14 days or some shit. And I gave him, and I'm like, oh shit, I have three. I think I do not remember exactly, man. It was between 3.3K to like 3.5 or something. I gave him as much as I could because he had incentivized it in such a way that the more I give him, the better returns I'll get, right? And I'm not someone who has too much patience. I like gratifying shit instantly. So boom, I gave him like pretty much everything I had, and I never got that money back. Next day, it kept becoming after 1 week, after 2 weeks. Oh, next week, next week, next week, never came. And things got bad really quick because, as you could imagine, you have no source of revenue, you have no cash. Forget about revenue back then. Revenue is such a big word, dude.
Yeah.
Say for the version of me back. But I
Yeah.
had no cash flow. I was staying in a pretty like, dude, like the I think I've told you, like the living conditions, like in Dubai, we
Shoebox
have a lot of
apartment.
talabat. I think
I have no
talabat or
clue what
tarabat.
Talabat
You know,
is.
like over here, bro, you must have seen it when you're in Dubai. Everywhere people are wearing this orange costume. Not costume, but they're
Like
wearing this
the
orange thing and they're
laborers,
like
right? Like the people that are like the laborers, right?
yeah,
Like the construction
exactly. Yeah,
workers, right? Yeah.
they're a mix
Yeah.
of not just construction workers, man. That's their version of Uber. So those are the folks who deliver food. Those are the folks who are might even deliver things back and forth, but they're like Talabat. They wear like this orange thing. And a lot of them are there. Correct? A lot of them. And I was living with I think at one point, the place I was staying in, it was, yes, my room was a shoebox room, but it was basically the setup was me and 10 of them. And we had like two bathrooms. Like it was really like, imagine trying to do anything in a mental headspace, like for the things I'm trying to do. It was like the
Yeah.
lowest
Yeah.
frequency, like energy. Like it was just like, yeah, dude, it was a pretty harsh reality of life, man.
Reality.
Like fuck, like
Mm.
and it's all me, bro. I fucked it up. I fucked up. I've taken every single decision that got me to that spot, right? And there's
Yeah.
no one to at this point, bro. There's no one to call for help. You know, at one point I remember, dude, like I even had to ask like some of my closest friends from college to send me like even like $50, bro. It was fucking embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like it was
I can
bad, bro.
imagine.
It, but yeah, teachers, taught me a lot about life, man. Like I think the position I'm in now, and where it definitely is like went so far low, but it was all self inflicted. But I'm also like in hindsight, I'm pretty confident that, or I can say with a strong conviction that there was a part of me that knew I have to burn the safety net, dude. Like that safety net of like this, I have to figure this out, or it won't. Like the reason, bro, like when I did every other business model, I never did it to the to the proper extent and took it to that level and just committed to actually working on that the right way, getting clients, scaling that way, is because I probably just had a safety net, man. Even when I was in the US, just knew someone I could crash by if I even end up homeless. Always I could call
Yeah.
someone, mom or dad to send me. But in Dubai, I guess like relationships with family got pretty bad as well, as you know. And
Yeah.
there's really no one to
Yeah.
call, man, anymore. Like freaking what? Those two people, those guys were like, bro, one of them was actually an alcoholic. I learned later on. He
Yeah.
threatened me a couple of times over my visa, bro. I remember, dude, like I was on like, a visa in the US. I saw in Dubai. and he was the sponsor of that visa. And do like couple of nights, he would get like he was an alcoholic, bro. I thought it was cool because I couldn't tell he was an alcoholic because he's very charismatic and stuff when he would drink, and I never saw him at
Mm.
night though. And at times, bro, he would like genuinely like drink a lot. And 3 a.m. he would give me a call like, oh, like we're not work, just mad at me for no fucking reason. And I would always like, like how I work and stuff. I would never like, especially
Yeah.
if like, these are like supposed to be mentors or something. He would just call me at 3 a.m. and just be like, yeah, we're parting ways. You have not done. He just make up a random like that's an alcoholic, bro. Like genuinely, he just
Yeah.
make up
Like
stuff
just
out of the blue. He's very like
yeah.
he would just tell me like, yeah, I'm canceling your visa and some stuff like that. And bro, my heart would genuinely like my heart would collapse, bro. Like I'm like, what? Like
Mm.
really? Like I don't even know what to do after. Like honestly, I've like burnt
Yeah.
everything in the
Yeah.
US. I can't really go back. I
Yeah.
can't go back home. That would be the most humiliating thing in my life to do all of this. My parents sent me to the States to come back like in this situation. And but that's kind of when I had to just figure it out myself, man. Like when things are going like just like not working out. There's no more like, oh, let me just sit down and learn video editing. It's like, fuck, let me go and make money ASAP.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've
Literally.
done it multiple ways. I think gym, I would be um, helping people work out, 50 dirhams, 100 dirhams, anything to just make some money. I was really hungry. I definitely like, there was a period when I was not getting any food at all because food was simply too expensive. And I can't keep telling people to help me, bro. Give me food. I'm not that kind of person, dude. I'm sure you have them. As you start making money, you find these leeches in life, bro, who are always like asking you for money or like asking, and you do it once or twice, and then they just think it's like it's just like a common favor that for some
It's
reason
an
you're always just gonna
expectation. It's an expectation.
exact.
Yeah.
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 And I lost a lot of weight, man. If I see some of my older pictures, like how skinny I look, and it was I think around Octoberish or something. Found this video about chatbots online on YouTube. I just made it. Like literally the same stuff I give lead magnets to people, correct? Like we give resources to people as a freebie or, it's a lead magnet. I found one of them on YouTube, bro. I signed up, I put my email, I got his little chat, is like the code for his chatbot. Of course, the code, there's no AI thing that a code that you just put something that's useful and just you click a button and it just works. You still have to figure it out, right? In that case, there are API connections, there's a lot of things. And back then, we used to use a tool called VoiceFlow. AI, the industry was very immature compared to what it is now, how you just open Claude, like we set up for you, your business brain, and just talk to the AI and it will just start doing stuff, producing value. I made the chatbot in about 2 hours. I was clicking buttons. I made the demo, like a little screen recorder. I'm like, shit, this thing works. Let me now. Then the same channel, that same guy, he's actually a good friend of mine. Now he's older, obviously. I saw his other YouTube videos, and he talked about client acquisition. He talked about Upwork. He had a video about that. I watched all of his stuff. He talked about a couple of ways of getting clients, basically, because I need a client. I'm not just going to sit on look at a chatbot. He talked about LinkedIn, he talked about cold email and a couple of outlets. And I'm like, at this point, I've done high ticket sales. I kind of like understand. You get an intuition, right? All the like little failures on paper you've made, they're just really like, you're just training your muscle memory.
Learnings. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. It's all experimentations. Even now with my business, like the kind of stuff we've done with robots and data, freaking data centers. It all is just inputs. And as long as you're smart enough to be able to sit upon them and make a strong strategic judgment. Okay, like how does this come in and like what can I do with this? You should be good. And I realized for some reason that like me just do Upwork, bro. Like Upwork, it is the unsexiest out of all of them. Of course,
Yeah.
in terms of like people love sexy business models and like like it's
Bro,
marketing.
I've sat with Upwork, like Nigerian guys on Upwork, paid them like $100 trying to do voice agents back in the start of 2024 when I was working at the private equity internship. Like I've had to stay up till 2 a.m. doing that shit. But Upwork's really useful, bro. Whatever you want to get made, like there's people for it that are like probably more skilled than any, developer you can find in USA for like say 100K a year, 150K a year. These Upwork technicians are like smarter and sharper than those people.
Yes and no, dude. I mean, there's a reason I left Upwork eventually. I could have been the Upwork guy. You would be
No,
seeing
but you
me.
can't charge. You can't charge more than whatever on
It's not
Upwork.
even charging, man. It's definitely a skill issue, I'd say. Like I again I do not know on Upwork, so there's definitely I would not say I have a proper outlook into that thing. Of course I use Upwork. And maybe not. They definitely work ethic wise, but you definitely find some interesting people on Upwork as well. But
The
it's not a
guy I
bad way.
found was pretty sick, bro. That guy was like on
What do
video
you use
call
it
with me
for?
for like 3 hours. I had to connect HubSpot with so make.com was the obviously the tool stitching everything together. But then
Yeah.
we had HubSpot, we had Twilio, we had Retail, and we
Wow.
had HubSpot again. So we would take a lead in the
Was
CRM.
that then? Wait, was this for
Sorry.
Meteoric?
No, this was for the private equity internship I was working at. So
Oh,
basically,
okay.
what these guys would do is basically they would source a bunch of deals using this tool called Inven. Inven is like
Mhm.
a mergers and acquisitions like sourcing tool where you can literally like find companies that exist in a certain region, and then you can filter it by like team size, filter it by like how long they've been in business. You can filter it by whether it's first gen, second gen. You can get a whole database of companies. Then we would send it to a team of freelancers in India that would clean up and enrich that data with like by scraping the internet basically and finding their contact information. Then on HubSpot, obviously you have like three different things. There's deals, there's contacts, and there's one more field. Yeah, companies, contacts, and deals, right? That's like how HubSpot was structured for us. And so if we found companies first, so first of all, we would send this database to the Indian freelancers. They would enrich that data, send it back to us through Airtable, and then once it came back to us through Airtable, then it would get fed into HubSpot. So now in HubSpot, we have the final list of companies, right? Now these final list of companies, we would then sort of filter it out by the industry. So say for example, we had like coded like we had like so if 1.1 was cleaning and inspection, 1.2 was logistics, right? 1.3 was whatever. So like we had like segmented it by industry. So on any given day, we were supposed to like outreach to a certain industry. So contact 1.1 today. So we had multiple ways of doing proprietary outreach to these people, right? So there was obviously like physical letters we would send. And this outreach wasn't to like sell something to them; it was to buy their company, right? To acquire their company. So we would do email, right? Like mass email outreach, right? With like an introduction video by the principal or like the owner of the private equity fund that I was working with. Then there would be like physical letters that we would send to their house, right? That okay, like we want to buy your company. Then there was and then there was cold calling. So we didn't want to actually cold call. So we were like, my boss was like literally build me out a voice agent that does this automatically. So I was like, okay, cool. So we've got make.com, right? We've got Twilio for
Wait,
the
when
actual
was this?
number, and then we've
23?
got 2024, start of 2024.
Start.
Yeah.
Bro.
Sorry, start of 2025. My bad. Start of 2025.
Okay, yeah, because you mentioned, I think,
Yeah.
you said voice agents. You said Vappy retail? Did you mention a specific tool?
No, I looked into Vappy and retail both, but I ended up going with retail. So it was HubSpot, Twilio, retail, and then back to HubSpot. So the contact would be pulled from HubSpot, go to Twilio, like dialed through Twilio's number. Retail was trained on my boss's voice, and it was given all of the prompts and stuff like that. Once the call is made, the call is recorded, dialed, then the outcomes achieved, right? Whether the person picked up the phone, did they actually book in and it was also like connected to cal.com. So it would directly book in an appointment on my boss's like calendar, right? And then it would update the CRM again. So that's like an automation that he got me to build. And it was pretty convenient for him, right? Because I was a fucking intern, which he would have had to pay like whatever, 500, $600 to someone else. He was just like, yeah, like go ahead, figure this out. You've got like whatever, 20 days to figure it out. And I just had to do it. So that's when I worked with guys on Upwork because a bunch of this stuff was like custom coded within the nodes on make.com. So I had to like kind of
Yeah.
find a guy that hey, there's these bugs over here. Can you like custom code this shit for me?
Dude, the make.com days, man.
Bro, I swear I hate make.com. Fucking hate make.com.
You know, man, the viral post, like the one you've seen, that one on LinkedIn,
That was
that one,
make.com, I know.
the front end was Airtable, but
Yeah.
the back end was make.com, man. I started, yeah. I used to make, I think, make.com time. I used to do most of it myself. That's when I got a couple of my devs.
Yeah.
Eh, I mean, like, what's even up with make.com and freaking, even N8N, bro? Like, the AI industry is so interesting how quick it moves. Genuinely,
It's all
exactly.
outdated now already.
Yeah, I mean they have heavy investments and they have the market share. I think they'll be fine, but how durable are they like by 2030? Who the hell knows, dude? They were very bro, some enterprise companies I've worked with wanted N8N software to be deployed for their backend.
Yeah. Like
Like
still, you're
literally,
saying like even now?
suite of billion-dollar companies would come and like back then because N8N was the best on the market. It's shiny, bro. N8N's marketing is world class. I mean, it's not even the marketing, but the UI makes it look like some freaking machinery is going on. You've
Yeah,
seen the
yeah,
screenshots.
literally. Yeah, yeah, I have. You used to do them in Canva, right? Like to post.
Wait, can you hear me? Yeah, I
Yeah, I
feel
can hear
like you're
you.
lagging a bit here.
Give me a second, bro.
Yeah.
Um, is it better now?
Give me a sec.
You,
Mm. Yeah, I'm just seeing the whole lighting has changed. This is fun, bro. I mean, yeah, there'll be a
yeah, this
couple
is
of.
fun.
Should I just move around the background? This one's a bit uncomfortable. Mm.
Sure. That looks good. That looks good as well.
Okay. Ah. Hmm. Oh, damn. Now we're truly in just rambling
Flow
mode, huh?
state. Yeah, bro, flow state. So,
Let me just put this in.
yeah, bro. So you wanna resume? We'll cut this section out, like the middle section out.
Yeah. Think, bro, we were talking. What were we talking about? Oh
Any
yeah,
then.
the AI industry. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, I forgot what we were talking about. N8N.
Yeah, the marketing of
Let's just
N8N
find.
is really
Let's
cool.
just mix up like question and let's just cut that out or like
Yeah,
resume. I think what we were like backstory and like yeah something like that.
yeah. Is your Wi-Fi fine?
Dude, my Wi-Fi is pretty solid, bro. I let me check. I think it might. Oh, is mine now slowing on your end,
Yeah, you're slowing down a little bit. Wait, now it's
bro?
fine.
I have 150 mega MB per second. I don't know if that's fast. I think it's fine. Yeah, it's maxed
Yeah.
out, bro.
Okay, wait, but you can see me clearly, right?
I can. You definitely pause at times, like you just. But I think hopefully, fingers crossed, bro. The
No,
Riverside.
in the recording, it doesn't usually. Yeah, the video comes out clean. That's what they like literally put a disclaimer for. They're like, the video
Yeah.
might look grainy when you're recording, but once it's in post production, it'll look cool. And once it's
Yeah,
recorded, it'll look cool.
yeah, dude. I'm also assuming that they should have some type of a what do you call it? Um, it's a dual upload. So you upload your version because even mine will upload, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yours will upload from your end, mine will upload from my end, and they sync up both of them together.
Okay. Yep. So yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Maybe you
cool.
can just ask a question. Let me open the Google doc. Even I can just ask a question. We can just resume from there.
Yeah.
Did we ever finish the story about Dubai? Do we want to close that out or just freaking move on?
Yeah,
Because we can keep
let's close
going
it out.
forever.
So you were on Upwork and then you started selling to random people,
Yep.
and one project led to another.
Yeah, I literally just followed his steps on YouTube. He just showed okay, so for Upwork, there's a way to set up a profile. Again, like simple things like these, like now they're so intuitive. People like with Instagram, your profile, like architecting the right profile. It's the same shit for every platform, man. If you're doing Twitter, if you're doing YouTube, of course you need to have a clean banner. You need to have the right headline. You need to make it instantly very clear about who you do it for, who you do it for, and what you do. Correct. But
Yeah.
so simple things like that, you have to follow tutorials because if you don't, well, you don't know better and you're going to, again, keep putting in the right. You're going to now say, oh, I'm just applying 24/7, but I'm not getting any results. So I followed his instructions. Whatever it was to set up the profile appropriately. And I just started applying, man. I would literally just type voice flow, chatbot. There were so many job descriptions. And then I'm like, wait, like, there's no way I don't get any one of these. I've done sales. I know how to speak. I'm like, again, good on camera. Why would I do anything else besides this but go on LinkedIn and start cold DMing people? There literally are people here. I just see that's the thing, right? On LinkedIn, I have to go and find people hoping they want an AI chatbot, and then telling them why they need one, giving them a price, negotiating, and then convincing them that they should do it with me. On Upwork, bro, all I have to do is just go and apply to these people and convince them I'm the best out of all the applicants because they already
For the
have the
job you
exact
already
problem.
need. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
straightforward. And I would do it. I think I just made Loom videos. I made like every single time for an application, I'll make a fresh Loom video. See, again, it's like these little things that obviously I was in a situation of pure desperation, but it's like these little things about, it's not about like everyone can, same goes towards for business, for marketing, sales, anything you do in life, and you will agree to it. I'm 100% that it really is like everyone will do the first 80% required, right? I always
Yeah,
get
but not
DMs from
everyone's
people.
gonna go to the next 20%. Yeah.
Exactly. It is, I'll find that perfectionist in your brain. That's correct. To take things to the next level. Put that extra 1%, that extra 10% when no one else is going to do. And
I agree.
I would just, I would go out of my way, make. Bro, I was in like the, not even trenches, bro. I was in the lowest of lows, like back then. But every single time, a lot of those videos are public. They've been used in my edits and I've even posted them directly. If you look at my energy, I'll smile, I would instantly, like, be super energetic. I bring energy to it, correct? There would be like in Australia, the time zone, I'd be like, oh, I'm based in Dubai. I think in Australia it's morning. Hi from Dubai, something like that. I would screen share. I'd make individual demos for everyone. And I would just talk to them. I'd literally go through their proposal, like their job description, and just tell how I would solve the problem. I'd literally just screen share. And interestingly enough, again, bro, I would send about 10 to 15 Loom videos a day. And it was high energy expenditure, dude. Like putting that kind of energy every single time for new demo, then you'd write up the proposal. You have to answer questions. Sometimes these job descriptions, they'd ask you like 15 questions that are necessary to complete before you can even submit it. And of course, I'd use AI back then. I'd use freaking GPT 3.5 or something, which was like, looking back now, it's such a
Shit.
bad model
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
But I would do these, and even if I open, I still have access. I have another Loom account with the company now, which I pay for. But all those Loom videos I made with my like original like personal email, and don't pay. I actually still pay the subscription just so I have those first 25 Loom videos I ever sent, just as like
Yeah.
sitting there, so I never lose
Yeah.
them.
Just access.
And
Yeah.
if you open it, like I was showing this to someone else another day, every single one out of those 25 videos, I think 20 of them got zero views. So literally, I basically put in like 12 hours, 15 hours of work for nothing. They didn't even view it because they put a job application sometimes, they just forget about it, they don't care about it anymore, or they simply could not care less, right? To even open the Loom video. But every single time, the other 5 videos that were viewed, I would get like a response from each one of them instantly. Let's get on a call, let's see what we can do. And that's how, like, it's like I'm taking my shot, but so intentional, where I already know, like,
It's a snipe.
I'm gonna, like, half of that is gone in the
It's
waste.
a
Nothing will
snipe.
happen. But
Yeah.
the ones that click, exactly. And they came, bro. I made my first 180 bucks again. It was 180, 150, something around there, man. I don't remember the exact number, but it was in the hundreds, I remember. It was around equivalent to 400, 500 dirham for me. That was a big fucking deal back then, man. That's like food, bro. Do you know how much like calm it gave me? There was a period in Dubai, bro. My phone, I didn't have money. Like my SIM card, my card kept getting rejected. I didn't have Wi-Fi like when I stepped out, so I couldn't even step out for a couple of days. Like I didn't have
Yeah.
4G or anything, bro.
Yeah.
Moving around a city or anywhere without Wi-Fi on your phone is like you can't do anything. You can't take an Uber. You can't make
Yeah.
a call. They just disconnected me. It was Etisalat. Etisalat is a SIM card you get in Dubai.
I know. I
Like
know.
here
Yeah.
in India, you have Airtel.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. And then of course, finally, this was like it was like, fuck, finally I made some money, man. This is like what I'm waiting. And then I just did the same thing. You find a money printer. It's not a printer yet, it's a money printer, but you find
Yeah.
something that
Gap in the
you're gonna
market.
yeah, you're gonna keep fucking spamming that shit, right? Like you're playing Fortnite or something with a double barrel shotgun. You just spam that, and I kept doing it. Started getting money in. I started going more up market. I started doing chatbots. I think just a month and a half, or no, I think for 15 days into it, I started making make.com automation just already. I started watching Nick Serov. He was like the big guy back then on in the AI space for selling it to businesses. Of course, now he does more info. I started making make.com because instantly I could be like, okay, I can make more money if I start selling more operationally, like, like systems that actually take care of operations kind of end to end, like what I do now. Of course,
Yeah.
instead of just a singular chatbot that's like annoying. I don't want to make a chatbot. Like, fuck that, bro. Like, that's boring. I don't want to be a chatbot, dude. I started then, for some reason, I opened LinkedIn. I think as well. I just open LinkedIn, I'll search AI because I'm always researching, bro. Now I'm deep within it. When I get deep into something, man, I'm like obsessed with it 24/7. Already bad then I'm heading to the gym. I'm listening to like Nick Serov. All his videos are all lined up in my watch later. I'm listening to every single person in the AI space. If you search AI automation back then, I'm just listening to them all the time, just absorbing as much information to just understand what's the industry, what does the field look like over here, right? Like who are the characters and like where's the money coming in, who is like saying what. And I opened LinkedIn, dude. I started posting just like that. And one day, I think on LinkedIn, then your feed, you know how the algorithm works. Once you start, because like you just even click on search something, it's going to bombard you with that thing literally 24/7. That's your new thing. And I saw
Yeah,
someone who had like this really interesting ratio of likes to comments. He had like 500 comments. And it was a very similar, it was an AI post about make.com, or it was probably make.com. And I'm like, what is this guy? Like, what? How did he get 600 comments? I got like 15 likes on my post. What? Like 600 comments? Like, and I know for a fact this is LinkedIn. Like, he's probably something is happening. There's some money is being like, something is happening. He's closer to the money than I am for bigger money. And then I saw it was a lead magnet. He made them comment something. And then I saw more of his posts. I'm like, okay, he makes people comment something. And he
mm,
sends, and I commented myself, like, okay, what happens after I comment? I saw I got a
yeah,
DM from him. It's a resource. And that's how I got into lead magnets. And of course,
yeah.
lead magnets kind of really milk the shit out of them, bro. I really understand lead magnets, bro. I think that's how I really like scale a lot of things.
Even on IG, bro. Even on IG, like we've used lead magnets so much.
Yeah, man. I mean, one of them got like 10,000 comments, bro. Because I mean, again, it packaged up well. Like the reason, like, bro, my first enterprise client came from a lead magnet. But it's
Yeah,
also very important. Anyone can go. Anyone watching this can open LinkedIn right now, search up Claude, and make a lead magnet. You can make one right now, and if you make like 5 of 10 of them, you might even have one that gets maybe 100 comments. But you're
yeah,
not going to convert if your thing's bullshit. If your positioning's off or your resource you give to them is garbage, it's not going to convert, bro. If anything, people
yeah.
will just stop commenting on your stuff. And that's how it started, man. Then got off Upwork, I think just a month and a half into it, because LinkedIn started making me some money, and just went all in into just posting on LinkedIn, man. Every day I was just sharing
Mm,
what we were building, dude. It wasn't anything crazy. I was not afraid to get on camera. That again, man. Like those are like little unfair advantages that genuinely gave me such an edge over my competition, because I know everyone like in the LinkedIn space now. And back then the space was very different. A lot of them do info now, interestingly, everyone does info because it is not easy making money selling AI to B2B businesses. People don't realize this.
yeah,
They think it's easy, but it is not, man. It's fucking hard. Like
yeah,
the amount of like times I've had to like genuinely like almost like reinvent, not even reinvent myself, like literally reset from zero. Like, okay, I have to completely do something different here, like being able to charge, bro, 10, 20, 30, 50, 60,
yeah,
600, 6 figures for a deal is not easy.
yeah.
Trust me, like you're speaking to people double your age. Why the fuck would they
Quite
take you
literally.
seriously? Like, why would they?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, who's going to invoice you 100K to your bank account? Forget about 100K, bro, even 10K. All the dreams everyone sells, bro, like online, they all do info, bro. If they were making so much freaking money doing the AI bills, then why the hell are they putting all their energy and time into info and teaching you and making content when the new Claude model comes out? But
Exactly.
these are things like even I wouldn't understand. Why do you think I joined all those courses and all that stuff? I bought it myself because I fell for it.
Exactly.
Yep.
That is true. That is true. And so then you went up market, you started selling to more like sort of more sophisticated people, and then over time, by repositioning, reiterating, right, you got to Fortune 500s, and then Fortune 500s to like fucking hedge funds now, right? And that's just a testament to like always sort of thinking and iterating on what's working, what's not working, re-strategizing, because there's you can either keep grinding on the same things at your current skill level and make more money, or you can grind but at the same time think and unlock newer maps. I think that's the one thing also like most people miss in their careers, but people think like output and growth is linear, but linear like you can't really transfer your reality if you're able to like make those those compounding jumps, right? By like repositioning yourself to talk to a newer ICP, a more sophisticated ICP, even if it makes you like, sort of lose a bit of business today so that you can make more money tomorrow, right? And having that insight, like, okay, like how do I actually get to the next level, right? How do I actually reposition to a higher, more sophisticated market? Who do I need to speak to? Who do I need proximity to? What sort of network do I need to have to tap into this side of, this level of business, this echelon of business, this echelon of operators, right? That's what sort of differentiates, I would say, you and me from like 90% of our competition, right? Where people see growth in business as linear, whereas we see it as like transurfing realities. That it's like, okay, cool, like getting to a better position in business, it does not just take operations, it takes a whole, it's like, okay, who can I like, what person can I latch onto and learn from so that I get that nitro boost in my career, right? What person can I like sort of talk to and pick their minds to get a nitro boost in my career, right? All of those things, like it takes you to like think about your business like 24/7. You got to like think of winning 24/7 to have those ideas and insights, right? And it sometimes takes you like to like write shit down all the time, right? And you're like, okay, fuck, like, what this is? Do you know what this is? Do you read that, bro? It's a career funnel. This is like me making a funnel about how I would land my internship, right? That's literally a funnel about how I would land my internship back in university. Like it's a diary from my university. Like it says application outreach, assessment, digital interviews, phone call, interview and assessment center, job offer. And then I was like, ball is in your court, right? Then I was like, be creative on call. Then I was like, okay, what's my edge, right? What's my character breakdown? What's my persona? How do I talk to them when I'm like cold calling these people to get an internship? So it's like
Yeah.
little things like these, right? Like this is just a marketeer thinking about how he's gonna land an internship. The internship that I landed in private equity that taught me all I needed to know about being an operator more than anything, right? And that is what led me to like start Meteoric from the ground up because I had all the skills that I needed to like run an operation and lead a team, right? So it's like these things, like it's not linear. It doesn't make sense. It's like random shit you do that like contributes to the end outcome, which is so fucking powerful.
It's also, dude, risk taking, man. It's a big one.
Yeah,
A lot of
yeah,
people who ask me like, how do I do like this type of stuff? Um, See, man, for me, it's always been there's no A or B plan. You know,
yeah,
this is what I'm gonna do, or
yeah,
it's all I'm gonna go bust. It's as simple as that. And that's why I think, again,
100%.
the Dubai, why I ended up leaving that job and putting all that pressure. Like, why did I have to leave that job? That job was asynchronous. And that was literally remote money. It's just because, and I had to remove that, again, that safety net that forces me to figure out how to fucking make cash this way, right?
Yeah,
But a lot, like, in that risk taking, if you are working another job, which, and then you come back home to do this in the evening, like, dude, how are you going to survive against competition like
yeah,
us? I'm solving the same
yeah,
problem
bro.
24/7. And I understand, I know Alex Hormozy, a lot of people, they have the strategy, which makes sense, especially maybe when you're mid career, when you have a family, when you have responsibilities. Again, like, my
Yeah,
perspective to life is really, it's very limited. It's just from my perspective, my age.
yeah.
I'm
And we're
lucky at
22-year-old retards on the internet, like choose to listen to us or not. But like this is how we think, right? Like,
exactly, yeah.
yeah,
But I couldn't do it when I had a job. My energy was always mixed. I didn't have to make cash if I have a couple of thousand coming a month. There's no reason for me to change what I'm doing. I had to change by trying to go and get a client, correct? And all of
yeah,
these things applies same as you're scaling in business. You don't attack a goal just like directly. You attack it almost laterally. Like,
yeah,
why did I come back to LA, bro? When I first came to LA, I was not making enough money. Like, it was financially, again, it was not stressful, but I definitely, I've made so many moves in business where if you look at my bank account, bro, like the way like we deploy cash and it's like literally like, my friend Ojas, he's my partner for, the data stuff we do. He's
get
literally
as
like,
well.
oh,
Yeah,
it's like pop, 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 because money is coming in, but
yeah,
like the way I deployed and like the different like ideas I have and the risks, we just do it and then let the market tell us. If it flopped, cool. Like a venture we did, like if let's say like we're expanding into data centers, cool. Let me but at least see so I can understand this market better. And that's a form. Sometimes you have to pay to understand and learn the lessons, whether it's good or bad, because then I understand the how that industry and what does this market look like deeper. And it very quickly tells me, like, is there any opportunity for me? Like, do I have a place right now over here? Is it a couple years away, or is this something that doesn't align with my skill set, or just this is not the right angle for me? Correct? And
yeah, 100%.
that's how I feel, man. Money is really just a tool. It's a tool for you to be able to just make bigger moves in life.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, and you gotta like deploy money towards something to for you to even be attentive towards it, right? I feel like that investing into yourself is like something that most people are sort of afraid to do. That's how like I got started in with Meteoric, right? That's how I took like that risk. Because I come from a decent background, bro. Like my I come from a family business, right? I've had like my fair share of like, childhood traumas when it comes to like family disputes and shit like that. But besides that, lived a pretty comfortable life. Went to university, never had to work an odd job, never had to work a blue collar job. Always sort of, my parents sent me money to university as well. Till I got to like my final semester in uni, and that's when I think it took me like a year and a half of like not knowing what the fuck I was gonna do in life, right? Like, what am I gonna work a job? Like, yeah, sure, I wanted to work a job, but I was not gonna get a job anywhere because, like, I mean, I was just not cut out for it, right? Like, I applied to multiple
How's the visa
places.
thing like
Australia
in
had this.
Australia? Would it be easy for you
Visas,
to?
visa is not an issue. It's less. It's more to do with like the racism towards you not being a resident. Like, you have to be a resident in Australia to land a job. There's so many jobs that don't even like accept your
No, you
application if
cannot.
you're a non-resident.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so you cannot get. You're very the pool of jobs you can even apply to is incredibly limited.
Is like
It's very
super
small.
tiny, and the chips are
Yeah.
stacked against you in a sense. But again, it's not me complaining anything. It's just that it's again, it's the same as like what you said, right? Like, for you who's thinking 24/7 about AI, will obviously beat someone who's doing AI after their 9 to 5, right? Because you're not fully consumed by it. And I've just never been fully consumed by getting a job. It's just that I realized in the second year that I need to get a job. But there were people that were already, stacking internships from high school. They came from tier one cities. They came from, global cities like Dubai, right? They came from global cities like Singapore. These guys knew they
Mhm.
always wanted to get a job at like a investment bank.
Yeah.
And so they worked towards it, right? So that's someone that's been putting like whatever, how many ever years, right, to get that job. And they're obviously going to get those jobs because their resume is stacked, right? Compared to me, who realized in the second year, oh, fuck, I want to get a job. And I was obviously not going to get one. Firstly, I'm not even a resident. Second, I don't have all that experience behind me. Third, I don't have the best grades, right? So I was never going to get a job. It was just that I was like trying to like fight against resistance and trying to get a job. And that was just
Yeah.
purely peer pressure, right? Because it was people around me trying to get a job. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, do I get a job? My
Yep.
family business basically was like at a stage where like it's just like breaks even right now, right? So I knew I was never going to come back home to an operation that's like, it's literally logistics, bro. It's like truck transport, right? Like transporting material from one place to another. I knew I didn't want to deal with that shit, right? I knew that the family business had sort of declined over the last few years because of family disputes, to a point where like I don't want to jump into that operation. So I was like, okay, what do I do? And from a very young age, bro, like from what, the eighth grade, not even the eighth grade, from the seventh grade, I've been making videos. It first started off with like me playing the guitar, wanting to like record myself play the guitar. That's when I started
Dude, I've
posting
seen some
covers
of
on
your older
YouTube.
videos. I opened your YouTube. I went to
Yeah,
like click on all this, and you have stuff like 9 years ago. It was just like playing guitar. You would
yeah,
be doing like film stuff. You've been like
yeah,
always into content creation. Yeah, you've always just been enjoying
yeah.
like putting stuff out there about things you're doing.
A hundred
Yeah.
percent. That's how it started, bro. So it was kind of like I always thought that the way I think about things, sometimes if I it's like I can be the smartest person in my own brain, but like to the outside world, it's like this guy's autistic, right? That's just how I've been all my life, right? So I was kind of like, if I want to express those autistic ideas of mine, let me just talk to a fucking camera instead of like talking to people, because most people won't get it. So I started with like obviously singing, because that was like a form of expression for me. So I started with
Can you sing
singing
now?
and playing the guitar. Nah, bro,
Do you
fuck
sing now?
you. Nah, not happening, bro. No, fuck you, bro. Not in the middle of a podcast, bro.
What are you gonna sing? Some movie from what's the movie? Dude, there's an Indian movie I do like. I don't watch that much Bollywood. It's been a long time, but oh, Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara.
That's a sick movie, bro. That's a road trip to be recreated. That's my favorite Bollywood movie, by the way.
Yeah. The vibes, right?
Yeah, 100%. It's a boys trip
You wanna
across
sing
Spain
one
and
of those
Italy.
songs for us?
Across. Sorry.
You wanna sing one of those songs for us?
Nah, bro. I'm good. I'm good. We'll sing it when we're together in Spain, bro.
Okay.
Anyway, so I started posting YouTube covers, and then when I was posting YouTube covers, I like somehow convinced my mom and dad that like the iPhone camera quality is shit, even though it wasn't. I just wanted a camera real bad, so I just like sort of begged for my first camera, and they gave me a camera. Once they gave me a camera, I was like, oh shit, like this camera doesn't just shoot video, it shoots pictures. There's so much more functionality to this. So I started going out and like filming stuff and taking pictures, and that's how I learned video editing, right? I went from like, your Windows Movie Maker to like I went to over time I went to Premiere Pro. I learned Premiere Pro. I learned color grading, transitions. I would spend hours and hours just sitting at home watching YouTube tutorials from people like Peter McKinnon, right, and all these people about like filmmaking, and I would like edit myself, right, like for literally for hours. And this is like on a beat up old Windows laptop, right? Like, and my grandmom would sometimes come to the room during winters, and she's like, "Why is the fan so loud?" Right? Or why is the fan so why is the fan so like why is the fan on the like the highest setting? Let me switch off the fan, and she'd end up switching off like the computer, right? And like in the middle of my fucking editing timeline, the whole timeline disappears. Like that's how I learned editing. So I learned
Yeah.
editing, and then I was like, okay, fuck, like I can actually make some cool shit now. So I started vlogging, and because I started vlogging, people around me always knew that I had a camera. So I just started landing gigs, right? Like some jewelry brand, I would go and do like a shoot for them. Some local model, I would do a shoot for that person. Some fashion model, and that's how I got into
Yeah.
freelance. I would charge them whatever, like $30 like for a few hours, $40 for a few hours, and I got into freelance. And I was like, dude, I'm making money. Like this is super cool, right? So from there to then, I started, Meteoric was initially a calisthenics coaching startup. So me and my high school best friend, we were part of this like tuition class where we were supposed to take a product and launch it into market. So it started with, we made
What
phone
year was
covers, and
this?
it was called, this is 2020, I want to say, 2020,
Come on, you can't say
11th grade.
Meteoric was back then.
Yeah,
Meteoric
yeah,
is so
bro.
different.
It was,
You
bro.
call it
2020,
Meteoric?
it was literally meteoric, bro. I'll tell you the whole story of how it transpired.
Oh, that's
It was
fucking
meteor.
fire.
The
Like
page,
I did
the
not know
page,
you had Meteoric.
bro. The page still exists, bro. Let me show you that shit.
That's dope, bro.
Meteoric boost, and then that's like my.
Let me show you.
We're like talking
You
about
still
like
in
what
touch?
we do for our clients. Sorry,
You still in touch with that buddy, your friend over there?
bro. He's one of my like. I launched this fitness program. I built his personal brand. Like he's like running a
Oh,
fitness coaching
I've
offer.
spoken to him. Okay,
Yeah,
Dravin.
Dhanil.
Dhanil. Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's him now. But
Bro,
that's what we
that's
did, bro, back in the day. Yeah, because I was like,
that's
bro,
so
like
cool.
if it's like combining like because and I was big into self improvement, bro. Like I was reading a bunch of like self improvement books, like Shoe
Yep.
Dog, Philip Knight, the Everything Store by Amazon, right? And then I was reading, the 4 Hour Work Week. So I was big into productivity. I used to watch Ali Abdal. So I was like, cool. Like I knew Notion, right? I learned Notion, how to use Notion, and then I obviously knew
Uh-huh.
how to do like video work. And I was good in front of the camera because I was like making videos on the internet on YouTube, like vlogging myself, and I knew editing, right? And I knew I could like sort of do freelance work because I'd already done that. So I combined all of it and started a fitness coaching, right? So we like coach people and we train people with calisthenics in the city. And we made our first ever like $1,000 with that, right? And that was pretty sick for us. Like back in the 12th grade, I was like, dude, like that's money, right?
Dude,
So
$1,000 is it's that's fucking awesome, bro. Like genuinely, nothing hits harder than making your first couple like just money by
yeah,
yourself. Like
yeah,
nothing hits harder than that, man. Like that's the coolest
exactly.
thing. That's the coolest thing in the world, bro. And you, even looking back now, but yeah, and a
Bro,
thousand.
I still
That's
have that
oh,
stack of
who paid
cash
you
in my
1,000?
drawer. Like I
Indian?
would never spend that money. Indian, like 25. So it was like what? We made 45,000 rupees each, which is like $500 each. But that was like in a span of whatever, 4 or 5 months, and just like cash that we got to keep. Like we never spent it. It's just still there.
And it was they paid you USD like cash in
No, no, no. They
freaking
paid
like
me INR. They paid us INR. So we had two plans. We had a 2 week program. Like we would train you for 2 weeks and we would charge you either 500 rupees for 2 weeks or we would charge you 1,000 rupees for 5 weeks of coaching. So we signed a
yeah.
bunch of people on this shit. So yeah, I think we had like
How
some,
are we
what,
getting clients?
35, 40 clients. Sorry?
How are we getting?
We were getting clients from our Instagram, like from the reels that we were posting. So people would message us on IG, right? And then I would obviously
Inbound?
like WhatsApp call them. Sorry?
Inbound.
Yeah, yeah, inbound. And then inbound and referrals as well.
Yeah, referrals for sure. Like, and
Yeah.
you're selling low ticket as well. It's
Bro,
very
who
almost
minds
trust.
paying 500 rupees for like literally a coach coaching you on how to like learn calisthenics for 2 weeks? No one, right? Like it's a no
I
brainer.
mean, back then you were like you were a kid back then. Like people, was that the recent one? Because I'm assuming like you had to be like bigger or like get it like bigger. Like with
We
that
just
video, you
made
just showed a little
calisthenics.
bit of it over there.
Yeah, people still wanted to pay us. Like we just made calisthenics look cool, like handstands and and again, like that sort of teaches you how like my unfair advantage was like getting in front of the camera because just like the charisma, the personality. They were like, okay, let's just give this kid a shot. We know, and they knew like I would show my transformation, right? Like from like before to after. I was a fat kid from there, so they were like, yeah, cool. Like we don't mind paying him. This is something cool. And like, what is like $500, $1,000, right? They were like, fuck it, just let's give it a shot. So that's how we like trained the first few bit of people till like fulfillment broke, and then we had to like I had to go to university. My friend had to go to university, went to university. I still kept making those videos, bro. That's how I got into like clubs and societies in uni as well. So like the consulting club in uni, the real estate club in uni, like I got in because I was making those YouTube videos. So I like would in my resume I would put like the YouTube video, and so that's how I got into those clubs and societies. That's how I got into like then I landed my internship right at the private equity club, the private equity fund, and
Yeah.
that was my first experience with outreach, bro. So I would like cold email a bunch of people, right? And I would go to every fucking networking event I could. But obviously, like these networking events would never like get me on board because like I was just like non-resident. So then I like
Brother,
outreach through email.
there's a version of the new networking over here in SF and the tech world, which
Yeah,
is for VC cases. I went for a couple of them, bro. Fuck that shit. It's so lame, bro. It's the same
I know,
thing.
right?
Like
Yeah,
I'm sure you hear about them, and yeah, it's like these roundabout meets. I don't even, I remember when I first came to LA, I would be invited, and that's when I'm like, bro, it's the same shit. Like in college, it's like the same shit everywhere. Where there'd be a
yeah,
bunch of someone hosting some semi big name, some company or some like something they have is some AI company, and there'd just be a bunch of people, bro, all kissing each other's ass, trying to like get a stupid fund. Oh, could you refer me? And
swear to
all of them
God.
talking about the things. That's the entire fucking go-to market strategy, literally. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, like what is happening? Like, and half of it is fake, bro. Like, you're supposed to like go to like some 40-year-old dud in consulting, sipping a beer and like eating a pizza slice while like talking about some case crack, like a consulting case
Uh-huh.
crack, and like you gotta like kiss their ass as if they're like the smartest person in the room, knowing very
Yeah.
well that they're just a fucking dud. Like that was like, but anyways, I went above and beyond to do whatever I could, right? Like fucking, I would email like 10 people a day who would not get an internship. Like there were a couple of internships that converted and then they were like, hey, we can't bring someone on board type of thing. So like my heart would break, bro. And I would like read a bunch of books. Like I read .com Secrets by Russell Brunson, so a bunch of marketing books and like $100 million offers by Alex Hormozy.
Yeah.
So I was like deep into that. And then content wasn't like fully working for me then. But what I was like in the middle of 2024, I was like, let me just like figure out how can I make content really work, because I've been making
Yeah.
some artistic work on YouTube for the longest time. I'm in university, like I'm in pretty good shape. I'm doing running, right? I'm like I feel like I have a good personality for the camera. I'm trying to get an internship. I'm trying to make a career for myself. Let me figure out what should I do. So I literally like wrote this down, like Moksh Vasant's like persona or character breakdown, and I literally like these are the trees.
Show it
I'm
for
a
a second.
team player.
Can you just put it like that? Yeah, you
Yeah,
can just
yeah.
say
So
what.
there's I'm a team player. I'm a problem solver. I'm interested in entrepreneurship. What was
Yeah.
this? I'm an excellent communicator slash operator. I'm results driven. I'm goal oriented, right? And then I was like I'm an adventurer slash crusader, right? Who's documented the growth online.
Bro, even I've
From
done shit like this, you know. I'm more
Yeah,
of the manifestation side of things almost. I definitely had a small phase. Maybe it was during COVID, but I feel like this is all like little things you do. Like obviously now I don't freaking open a book and start writing this stuff anymore. You know,
yeah.
I just like I want to
It's
make a
just
fucking billion,
top.
I'll just go and make it. But this is all
Yeah.
phases I feel like maybe you just have to have. You know what? I'll ask some of my friends as well. Did you ever like I have my say notebook as well, but I have those things. It's personally, you know, I've just kept it, but I still
Yeah.
have it.
Bro,
I've
I mean,
definitely
that's
written.
what makes a difference, bro. Like when you're alone in the room, like, and you're thinking about like your life and you're thinking about like your work and you're thinking about how you're going to get ahead. Like that's the dream, bro. And that's what 99% of the people lack, like an internal monologue, right? Most people don't have an internal monologue if you think about it.
I think a lot of people depends on your goals. At least what I know with entrepreneurship, what I have seen, and I can attest this to the fact, like you know, one of my good friends Jordan over here I live with.
Yeah,
Um, Mm. it can be a very it's a very lonely journey, especially at the start, because no one is going to
for sure.
subscribe or subs really just subscribe to your dreams. Like again, for your family, parents, a lot of people again back then I didn't understand, but I just moved on. It didn't really bother me. But
Yeah.
you think like everyone, like a lot of times I think people want to start like entrepreneurship and do these interesting things, whatever it is, there's some way to make money for the applause. I want to be, like everyone expects this revelation they get from others, like, wow, wow, look at you doing all of this. But number one, like, you cannot of course then your family goes against it, or people close to you will go against it, but gotta remember, your family, your parents, they want the safest approach for you. You're the son, you're the daughter. At the end of the day, like if I had a kid and like if I was literally in my parents' head and doing like I see my son doing what the hell he's doing, just moving around continents and then ending up like, with like no plan, it makes sense. They do right. They don't want they haven't like chosen like, oh, I'll take this maximum risk taking option. And you just have to do a lot with the like now, bro. Life is like, I think as you level up as well, one thing like I've noticed over the past, like you met me when we first met, right? Like in this
Yeah,
Jan you could my
yeah,
circle was way smaller back then, bro. It was what? It was me and Ojas basically. I didn't really know
yeah,
anyone.
yeah,
Obviously me, I already have friends or like people I've spent time with. Outside of like I'll just be like, yeah, I just didn't know people. But once you can understand, like as you get more leverage and cash and you make the right moves in life, I think making the right moves in life is really important. You need to know when is the right time to make a bigger decision in terms of not just like business, but okay, let me take this. Even when business is scaling, why not take the riskier option if you see an angle?
yeah,
Correct? Move to a different city, a bigger city, put more pressure on yourself. You'll be in a better circle. You've done it as well. You're in
yeah,
Mumbai and you want to Dubai. I always keep telling you, bro, come to the US. I know it's
yeah.
hard, but
I'll be
I
that.
ended up in LA. And at first, it was obviously difficult. It's a brand new culture. It's like, holy shit, like I've never been to LA, bro. Like compared to a Dallas or even another city in US, LA is a different, like, competitive place you're playing, dude. Like, this is the social economy. This is like, you have to compete on a lot of fronts. And, but those little things at first is very lonely again. And that is again, I think anyone who starts a business at first or you're trying to, you will very quickly like detach yourself from the programming almost, that herd mentality, doing what everyone else does. All of a sudden,
Yeah,
now you're just going for a freaking bowling, or just going and watching a movie, the new Spider-Man movie. I will probably watch the
yeah,
Spider-Man movie. I don't really watch
yeah,
movies, but all the mundane things you used to do with your mates and stuff that you used to think was like fun, you will start detaching yourself because you're like, fuck, these are not money making activities. This is not going to get me right now where I want to be. And you're going to have to what? Naturally sacrifice. And you just, right. What I was referring to is that initial period, right? When you're trying to get activation energy and actually make it work. Because personally, I've not met anyone who instantly you find a business model and it's just like what the promise is, or 30 days instantly with no experience. Some people are correct. Some people definitely do that. But for me, it took a decent amount of time. And that stint is actually the hardest period where you want to give up, where a lot of it is like you're putting in all this input, all this energy, and not getting anything out of it. Correct?
yeah.
And that is mostly where you've seen that meme, bro, right? Online where someone's digging for the gold and they're
And
digging
then
and
the goal
digging.
is right there, and they quit like last minute.
One person quits and one person is just there and he basically strikes the goal because he's one final axe,
Yeah,
like, final thing towards it. And that is how it goes initially. Like for me, like
100%.
a lot of my friends in college, like I had a very like a tight group of friends I love. And I've even like, a couple of them came over to LA earlier in this year. I think maybe you met them, maybe you didn't. But there was a
Who
period
was
where
it?
I just a couple of friends I had in college, like my entire college, I had a couple of mates, like where we would do everything, the frat parties, do all the kind of interesting, side quests we would be doing. And you just stop associating. It's not like you stop associating with people, but you just like are, damn, everyone is just like doing the same stuff. Like it really is the sum of the five people you hang around with. That's the average of that you turn out to be. And there's a period in life where you don't have any of those five people, even one person to really be around. Some people are in a more fortunate situation, but
Yeah,
for me there wasn't. And naturally, I was just a solo runner, honestly, solo traveler or whatever, just doing things by myself. And it is after you get enough leverage, well, you have enough value that you as a person carry that kind of authority that then you can meet those people. And then once you meet those people, you meet more, and then it kind of becomes what everyone says, you attract all of it. Correct? The manifestation side of things. But that's what I was saying, really, that there is a stint where it's very lonely and it's almost like you're alone, but and you have to learn how to be by yourself as well. When because that's a very good and valuable skill in my opinion to have. A lot of what we do, bro. A lot of times we're just by ourselves, just freaking problem
Bro, most
solving.
of the time, all the time.
Yeah, that's when the magic happens, bro. That why do you think I moved over to a house like this, or I just need my own silence time, man. That's when I can make magic happen. Why do you think you always
I
have seen,
agree.
right? I'm always working at like in midnight because daytime is,
Same.
yeah, daytime is when there's more chaos, at least for business. Managing, that's the time when I can manage my employees, my clients, and that's when things happen. I can move around the city, I can meet people, make things happen. Just a lot of noise and chaos. But the time when I actually can move the needle ahead with the business is
Is
typically
at
at
night.
midnight. Anytime from 11 p.m. And how many times I'm awake at 11 p.m.? I mean, I've been awake for what, 36 hours at this point. But this is the time when like midnight when it's peace, silence. I don't have to answer to anyone like at all. And I can just focus and get stuff done. I can move the needle head with the marketing, the sales, solve the problems that generally just require me to just sit down and like just not do anything else.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I fully agree. And that lonely phase that you're talking about, right? That's so. There was this like imagine, right? Like tomorrow, when did you hit six figures in your business? Six figures a month, like 100K a month plus. What month was it?
Maybe Janish, maybe a bit earlier than that. There have been months when I hit it, but I think definitely, I think, yeah, it's been maybe a couple, I think Decemberish, Novemberish,
And how many people
maybe.
came and congratulated? Because when we started working together, you were at like
Oh,
80K
no,
a
I
month,
don't
right?
ever talk about now I've completely stopped it. I don't talk, I'm not like, oh, I hit this figure. I don't care, bro.
Yeah, no.
Like,
But the point is like when you hit like that first six figure month, right? How many people came and congratulated you?
no one, bro.
Exactly. And did you have a graduation ceremony or you dropped out last minute?
6 figure month?
Yeah, six figure. No, no, I'm saying for your university, did you have a graduation ceremony?
Yeah, we had one. Yeah, yeah.
And how many people congratulated you on that day?
Everyone, bro.
And how and based on dopamine levels, right? Like that's the
I
thing,
mean,
bro.
bro,
Most
nothing
people,
beats getting units, bro. When I got the
sorry.
BMW, nothing beats getting
Yeah,
cars, right?
but
And I knew,
that's what I'm saying.
yeah,
Most people, they live their life for public validation. They live their life for these euphoric moments, getting, getting the highest score in board exams, so you get, printed on a newspaper, becoming head boy in school, or like, being on top of the dean's list because your name's gonna be announced and you're gonna be the shit in uni and you're gonna get all the girls, right? Or like getting like a fucking, or graduation. Like, bro, I remember when I went for my graduation ceremony in Sydney last year, I was running Meteoric already. We were already doing like 20K months then, right? And that's what I was thinking, right? Like, I took client calls all the days except for that one day during my graduation. Like my entire Sydney trip was just like me taking calls, right? Because I was in that stage of business where like I was still very like operationally involved in everything, right? So I'm like, when 150 people message me congratulating me, right? People that I haven't spoken to in a while. I was like, bro, like when I've posted my business wins on my story, only fucking five people tell me that congratulations, right? Even with my parents, it's like, oh, cool, like just another thing that's happened, right? Whereas when I graduate, the whole world suddenly feels like it's such a massive feat. Oh, graduation, right? And I'm like, realistically, you're
yeah,
congratulating me for something that my parents paid to send me abroad. That's something that I studied on a preset curriculum, right? That I got grades with, and I just went through a system and a structure. And just for that completion, I'm getting congratulated. Whereas way more effort went into scaling this business to a certain level, having a team, having operations, taking that stress. No one's congratulating, but that's fine because that's as an entrepreneur, like what you're chasing. You know that you're cracked in the head and the type of wins you want to have, and just over time, you kind of get used to the fact that like you're not gonna get congratulated on for anything. It's just a matter of like you understand your craft in the head, you know what you're going towards, and that's all that matters to you. That's all that matters to you. Self improvement, right? And half of self improvement is just letting go of the ego, right? Letting go of the need for validation. You're just doing this because you want to fucking do this. What else would you be doing, right? So that takes a
yep.
while to get used to,
Hmm?
and that's breaking out of the
Oh,
conditioning. That's breaking out of the conditioning.
yeah. It's a tough
Yeah,
process, man, that conditioning programming, because you burn a lot of bridges on the way, man. You do a lot of things that people very close in your life completely disapprove. And
yeah,
it's a hard one, bro. It is a hard one, but that is kind of like, again, Yeah, that's just what it takes, man, because that's when you can truly swing through life freely. And
Yeah,
that's when you learn who you are as a person. I think the most important thing that, or the best thing like that has happened over the past couple years, especially with the kind of moves, is that I know exactly who I am, bro.
yeah.
Exactly. And now I know exactly what to say no to. I know exactly like even business moves, bro. Like now, dude, like the amount of little like people dangle in front of me, like because like
The
now
carrots.
people carrots, yeah, yeah, yeah. I was telling you, there's a reason I like we were speaking. It's insane, man. I mean, bro, I was telling you, it's so interesting when I was in Closer Cartel. You know Closer Cartel, right? You know Luke
Yeah, yeah.
Alexander, I'm
Luke
sure.
Alexander. Yes, I do. I do. I do.
I joined Closer Cartel, I believe, mid 2024. And one of the offers in there was, I won't name him, he's a good friend of mine now, but he was one of a lot of anyone who knows young money, online money, new money, know exactly who he is, but he has a big offer. What is Closer Cartel? For people who do not know, they are essentially like this community high ticket sales closing coaching program. But it's also not just coaching. It is they will show you how to do it, but they'll also then get you the offers, right? There'll
Place
be
you.
like
Yeah,
offers
place
you
you
can
into
apply to it.
offers.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
one of the biggest offers over there was run by one of the Miami kids, like a very big personal brand, a great brand. And I remember back then,
Is
bro,
this the
I
guy you
was,
recently connected with? Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is that.
yeah,
It is him. It is him.
it
Yeah,
is
yeah,
him.
yeah.
And it's so interesting, bro, how you can move through life. I was like, at back, bro, he's been established for a while. And even back then, he lived a baller life. He knew everyone in the circle. He was like one of the guys we all aspired to be, right? And I was one of the DM setters, one of like 30 DM setters sitting there DMing people on the phone to move people from a cold DM to like getting on a sales call. And the sales call was obviously not with this guy, it was with his team because he had
Yeah.
a very simple operation running info offer. And
Hmm.
now, obviously, we guys are partners. He came to me and like, it's pretty cool how you can move through life, man. Again, I always tell like a lot of people that business you should not the right again to each their own, but for me, even you, bro, we've been good with people, and we should always leverage the skill where, like I always say, like this AI, what I do, it's a vehicle, correct, for me to play the game of life as well. You need to play the game of life. Like I have lived that life, dude. Like last year, most of my 2025, dude, all the way up till literally from January to October, all I remember is just me being indoors most of the times. Literally, like, and that was what it took, bro, because I'd like moved to US, expenses are high. I was like, it takes time, man. There was a lot of financial pressure at times, and the only way I knew was fuck just by working, bro. Like I had to like put in a lot of time to like eventually get to this position of leverage. A lot of folks ask, like, man, like, how can I get 50,000 followers on LinkedIn? Number one, it's not about the following. The following is great for authority now, but it was generally just working 24/7, bro. Like bro, if have I ever showed you a picture? Should I show you a picture of me? Like how I'd gained a lot of weight, dude. I think back in March of 24 or something, just because of
No, I haven't
stress,
had
bro.
a look.
Really?
Yeah,
Let me
same
find.
same thing happened with me, bro. Like I got
Yeah,
acne on my face, gained weight, became
yeah.
skinny fat. I'd taken 85 sales calls in a month and stuff. So
The
yeah,
one non-negotiable I always had, bro, even for you, fitness. Correct. That's what
yeah,
allows us to translate the same intensity, the same rigor, and the same like that discipline. It really translates well
yeah,
for business, gamers, and fitness.
yeah.
That went out of the drain, bro. That literally went out of the drain because it was like such a fucking shit situation, bro. And I'm just trying to find that picture. But yeah, what were we talking about again?
That hero arc, like every entrepreneur's hero arc.
Exactly, yeah. You know, just give me a sec, bro. Editor will have to chop this one out because now I'm looking for it. I have to show it, I guess.
Yeah,
Mm, there is. Oh, bro, I don't even know. Like, let's decide, bro. Bro, I look so bad. I don't even know what I should show.
bro.
I'll show it to you, maybe.
Send it on WhatsApp, bro. I'll have a look. Oh shit. Nah, it's not too bad, bro. It's not too bad. It's not too bad.
This was March
You
2025,
wanna
bro. This
see?
was
You wanna see mine? This is still not too
yeah,
bad, bro. You wanna see
yeah.
mine and my peak cortisol, like peak cortisol? Bro, this is like actually embarrassing. Like I wouldn't show this to anyone, but like fuck it. Now that we're like now we're here, let me just show it.
Are we showing this part still? I feel like this way part is way too choppy. I think we shouldn't just show it only. Unless we like want to instantly make it like, oh, here's my picture and like make it smooth again.
Do
Oh
you see
wow.
that shit, bro?
Yeah.
Like I was like fucked, bro. I was not sleeping, not training, like eating random fucking crap. Face had like fully gone, bloated out. So yeah, it was
Yeah. Okay. So wait, since we've kind of paused now, like how long? I think it's been roughly an hour
90
20 minutes
minutes.
maybe or
Yeah, hour
more. Yeah.
20.
So like
Yeah,
what
yeah. I think we
uh,
keep going, bro, because there's a lot of tangents that we can still hit on.
okay, I'm down. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Keep the flow, bro. Yeah, you ask and I'll let's just
Perfect.
keep it going, yeah. Fun.
Let's keep it going, bro. So, do you want to start with like
Okay,
we
let
start with money? So,
me
bro, for this next segment, I'm
Okay,
this is like part of the podcast, right?
let's
For
go.
this next segment, right? Although we don't have a fucking segment for this podcast, but like since like I want to like touch upon a few topics, let's start with. Are you able to see me? Yeah. Let's start with money, right? And then we'll go into like taste, we'll go into like status, we'll go into like different games of life. But let's start with money, right? Like, what do you think? Like,
Yeah.
because and I want the most abstract answer you can give around money, and I'll give the most abstract answer I can give around money and how I genuinely think about it. But like, what's money to you?
Money is not real.
Yeah,
It's completely I would say it is something that allows you to make the moves in life. That's how I would think about it. Now,
yeah,
my perspective of money right now in the stage and place I am. I'm pretty sure a year from now, even 6 months from now, when I've leapfrogged to a whole different level, I probably will have a different outlook. Correct? It's like it's a periphery or a outlook into the game almost that you can only see once you're up there. Correct? You cannot
yeah,
see like that perspective. It's clouded right now. It's invisible. What about
yeah.
you?
Money is not real. I think
Yeah,
money is
bro.
just value, bro. Money is just value, bro. And the more value you can stack up, and like over time, I feel like life is money is a game first, then money is value, and then value. The more that you can assimilate and accumulate, it compounds, right? So like that's what wealth is, right? Like you have a bunch of money that you've invested into assets, and that shit compounds, so that you don't have to work for it again, right? You don't have to like actively work for it all the time. And business is a game. If you're addicted to the game enough, you keep playing that game till you die, or you choose to like sort of remove yourself as much as you want from the operation. And then you like explore the more sort of esoteric stuff in life, right? Whether it's like diving deep into your soul, or like meditating, like living life, traveling, exploring. I think that's how I look at like money. I feel like it's a game that you definitely want to keep playing, right? Because making money is the highest form of self-improvement in my opinion. Because I have a very spiritual connection with money, where it's like, my, ego, the way I look at like adding value, the way I look at skill, the way I look at like improving myself in real time, right? All of that, like my intention with money, abundance mindset, right? All of that, like for me, money is very spiritual in a sense. So that's how I look at money, right?
Interesting, bro.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would come. I definitely like. I don't know if I'm too much of a spiritual person. I probably am
yeah.
to some extent, but I do not regard money at all as something that's spiritual. For me, just something that just comes, and
Mm,
I don't care. Like for me, I have to become the almost like the more you, for at least the way it's panned out for me is like the more I aim towards like the path of greatness, the more money does come. But I definitely, I would say, do not think about it at all spiritually. And I want to ask you this:
mm.
do you think value, because you spoke about value as your second point, is a prerequisite to making money, obscene amount of money?
Um, mm, no,
What type of scammy shit are you doing, bro?
no. Value as a prerequisite to money. I feel like what makes someone buy into you for the first time, because they haven't received the value yet, right? They see value, they perceive value, is when they buy. For example, when you go to like when you first posted your job on Upwork, They hadn't gotten the value of you implementing for them yet, but they saw the value, and that was marketing. Then you gave them the value and you charged them a retainer. That's a different story. But is it a
Okay.
prerequisite to making money? Maybe not.
Let's say that delivering value is delivering value a forefront or prerequisite to making money. Delivering, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Delivering value in your front end, maybe. Yeah, for sure, sure.
What about people who made who ran up the milli, who ran up a meme coin, ran up a crypto coin? They made a bunch of money. I know people who have made millions over here in Orange County, or like you've seen it as well. I
Mm.
mean, you could sit and argue, but they
But
traded
that's
places.
but that's but that's that's not money tied to a skill, and plus they have the leverage of capital, right? You can't make a million in crypto without having the leverage of capital. Like my dad can, for example, tomorrow if he goes and he runs a trade on like 100x leverage, right, in futures and options, he can probably make like a lot of money, right? But that's because he has the leverage of capital, right? But like when you're starting out, you don't really have the leverage of capital. You just have skill and value to provide, right?
Dude, there are people who have made like again meme coins, pump them up. They're definitely angles, bro. I know people who LA man. There's a lot of interesting ways of making money. Or like
But
I've told you a
that's
couple
that's
of the
skill,
stories.
that's skill too, right? That's skill too.
Skill, a lot of scamming, a lot of different things.
Scamming is
But
a
I
skill.
definitely got
Scamming
it
is a skill.
pure.
Scamming is a
Yeah.
skill.
So value, we would say, is not a prerequisite or delivering value to being able to make money. Money can be made really, you just have to place yourself in the middle of money moving, I'd say. Now,
Yeah.
for us, it is obviously because, number one, Republic, and we always want to do good business. That is why for us, we definitely do care. And for us, it is the more money we make is really about, at least the way we structure our business models right now, to a high extent, is getting really good at what we do, correct? And that really encapsulates all of it: our own sales, our own marketing, our product, our delivery. It's all really one encompassing web that all tie into each
Mm-hmm.
other. So I would say for us, definitely value matters quite a bit, but there are definitely ways to make a fuck ton of money, bro. Like it's a lot
Mm.
of money, but yeah, it's a skill, bro. It's definitely a skill.
That's also fair. But it's also you positioning yourself in a place where you can make a lot of money. Maybe it's that the service that you're providing to a Fortune 500 company, the delta for them in terms of how
Yeah.
much money, more revenue they're making, how much more top line they're making, or how much bottom line they're preserving is way higher compared to you doing the same AI infrastructure for a local business here in India. It's just that the ICP and the delta is different, right? And so that's
Of
still
course.
value, right? For them, that value is higher, and that's why you're able to charge higher compared to here. The delta is lower, so you might be charging lower, but it's still value, right? Before you're getting the money. So you
Of
placing
course,
yourself
bro.
in the right place to make money,
Yeah.
there's so value is a prerequisite to making money, isn't
No, I mean, for us, bro, I hope like the last thing I
it?
do is come online and say that I don't provide any value, but I charge all this money.
Yeah,
I was thinking in
yeah.
general, like all the ways
Hmm.
around the world people make money. All right.
But do you
I was
think
thinking
they would
that,
keep? Do you think they would end up keeping that money, or do you think they can sleep at night peacefully? Because if you're making money in the wrong way and you can't sleep at night, is that really worth it?
dude, at least I think they sleep fine, bro. Again, like, this is like that. This is like, I don't think we should keep having this because I can't say like otherwise, like at least on YouTube, I
Hmm.
cannot say like we can talk about this later,
Yeah,
but like how people, again,
yeah,
bro, I'm LA, dude, like the type of people that, bro, the mafia exists over here. There's a
yeah.
lot, this is like the real world in that way. It's very like
Hmm.
lawless in some shape or form as well at times, you could argue. But yeah,
Hmm.
they sleep fine at night, bro. I can promise you. Whether they keep the money, they
Hmm.
don't again, bro. Like, dude, this world is really big, bro. Like if you think about the amount of money that operates and moves around, like there's a lot of money, bro. And like it's only controlled by there's definitely, yeah, I think they're fine. But either way, moving a conversation from legal
Moving.
to money.
Yeah, yeah. Let's go into let's go into team building. I want to get into team
Ooh,
building,
that's
and
a
now
good
that you
one.
have none, now that you have none, but still,
Hey,
I
I
feel
have one,
like
bro. One.
one person,
I
one
have
person,
one, but I have 50 employees, all machines,
all agentic.
all freaking 24/7 running machines. Never complain.
Exactly.
They never want to break. They never argue. They listen to what I do. And they're higher IQ than me as well, so that's a plus.
Fair enough. Um, soon gonna be me as well.
And they don't want a
But
salary. They want a salary of maybe $200 a month to
credits,
Claude, $200 a month to Codex. Yep.
yeah, and that's about it. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But in terms of like team building initially, because you did have a team at the start, right? That sort of helped you scale and get that escape velocity. Do you feel like team building,
Yeah.
obviously in your case, also I'm also curious to like hear your opinion on how with the world of AI and how quickly people are adopting it, what's labor really going to be worth or like talent going to be worth over time? Do you feel like
It's an interesting.
most service businesses can run without teams?
Dude, the two parts of a business, number one, I would say there's the mechanical side of a business, and then there's the human touch, the taste curation,
Creative.
which typically translates to marketing, sales, correct? The mechanical side of a business is very data driven. That is the part that you do want to be automating or implementing AI into, correct? Whether that is removing people from the system, translating SOPs that humans typically operate within, and embedding them within different the agents with all specialized tasks, improving the specific bottlenecks in their processes that currently exist, correct? That is the mechanical side of the business. And yes, I would say a significant fraction of that can be handed over to an AI. For the marketing and the human touch side of things, right? That is what a lot of what we do. You
Yeah.
simply cannot just automate the entire thing. You should use AI to accelerate the process, whether that is having the system being able to do your
Yeah.
market research a lot quicker, come up with ideas quicker, correct? Being able to go through your data again. The mechanical side could potentially be attribution to ads. The AI should be
Yeah.
able to find patterns among, what are your winning AdWords, for instance, but it will not be able to just recreate a whole new AdWord, correct? You will always ideally want a human who is guided and I would almost say accelerated, maybe accelerated, but almost yeah, accelerated with AI, correct? And that is at least my what I have seen work. Now for the job market, as we know, obviously it's interesting, bro. Like the fastest job, everyone thought is going to be the blue collar jobs, correct? The ones the higher the brute labor jobs that are going to go first as technology advances maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when we'd be, then AI robots were a pipe dream, but it was a concept that we, and, sci-fi movies, but it's actually the white collar jobs. And if anything, it is actually the software engineering jobs that are being, disrupted quite a bit. Every other week, every month, you'd be hearing these big. I sent you the tweet, I think. Remember? I think it was the co-founder of Twitter when he has I forgot what his company was called, man, but he cut like what, 40%, 50% of his company's workforce, correct? I remember I sent it to you and I was like, bro, look at this. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So the future for people with jobs, bro, it is like, I mean, forward deploy engineer. That's a big thing these days that a lot of the AI companies are hiring for, correct? But it is definitely going to be like essentially, it's the per unit of software that can be deployed, written, or altered and adjusted. Essentially, the ratio for the per unit of software to the number of labor required, that ratio is shrinking. So, like,
Shrinking. Yeah.
as we go over time, like one person can have control over a lot more software of like, pieces in the tech stack or the software and the
Mm-hmm.
systems. That's kind of what I've done. And that's why my labor count keeps just reducing. But the AI, or myself in this case, who's controlling all of it, can have a lot more control and leverage. So that is what I would be saying. So like a lot of the skill stacks or skill sets that, from my perspective, that are very valuable are for the people who really know how to orchestrate, manage these agents, understand how to, go into businesses and deploy them. Correct. So definitely, like you need to be a lot more flexible. I think being closer to a generalist is never a bad idea because AI can pretty much it's just capable of doing more and more. I remember when I don't know if I ever sent it to you, Leopold Ashbrenner, the guy who was part of OpenAI's super intelligence team. I've sent it to you, maybe his thesis paper. I told you, remember that guy was
Mm-hmm.
like in
Yeah. Yeah.
22 who raised the fund up to $1 billion. I
Yeah.
showed you a couple of like, bro, look at this dude. Um, his predictions on AI were very good. Like, there's a scaling law essentially. Like, the more amount of compute you put into it, the more intelligent these models get over time. And that law is pretty much, he's held true. And if anything, dude, like, think about it. A year ago, you would give an AI a task, it would even if you turn on max thinking mode, it would just work for what? 2 minutes, maximum a minute on problem solving a task. But you've
Now
seen,
it's
as I
eight to
said,
ten minutes. Yeah.
bro, it's way longer than that. I've said you've seen
Yeah.
it. Like, I set up your the AI for you when we were doing it a couple of days ago. Your business brain and cursor. I was showing you. And as you get deeper into these tasks, dude, the AI is already capable of sitting and solving a problem constantly for more than an hour, 3 hours. I've had AIs like, if you turn on goal mode, like goal/goal. Goal is basically the Codex, or now even Claude has it. It will keep working until it achieves that goal on paper. And if it keep working, bro, it's definitely capable of working for 20 hours. I've tested, maxed it out at 20. And so right now, the AI, okay, 20 hours is overkill. If your AI is working that much to get a task done, it's definitely like not a well architected task. Um, you're going to get slop out of it. At that point, it's overkill. But by the end of this year, look at these LLMs. They're definitely going to be capable of literally sitting and solving a problem for days and eventually weeks and months. So if the AI can do all of that, what really is the human's role over here? Correct? It's not sitting and writing software. The art of sitting and writing software is pretty much gone. So as an engineer, you should be like, okay, how your skill set is really, or your unique perspective is, you understand code bases. Because AI,
From
bro,
a
like,
first principles standpoint.
exactly. You're new, like, you've just started using it. And so, guys, just for context, the way I use my AI, I've shown Moksh how to use it. And you guys
Yeah.
have seen, if you see me online, I've talked about like a business brain that essentially captures every department, and how I've essentially embedded how I think and problem solve into the AI. Correct? SOPs for agents, because agents need to have SOPs, for instance. Like, um, and I've built it for Mox, and he's built, as we keep like over the next couple of weeks, months, you keep improving it and getting better. And you will soon see, bro, that AI, as you know, right now, you're just structuring the business, right? You're just creating the brain, the intelligence, the information. But now you will eventually have to translate that static knowledge into automations, like automated tasks, where the most of it is just automation, sure, but will probably be a couple of AI layers on top, where the AI is routing things, ingesting information, pushing it, correct, and eventually be more sophisticated. You have a call transcript come in, it knows how to assign things to people, update a client information, look for patterns, for instance, like, oh, this client is potentially like, it should be able to see problems before they come, because that's our role as a business
Mm.
owner. The more
Yep.
proactively you see problems before they come, the better you're going to be, like, the calmer life is going to be. And you will see, bro, once you start creating more softwares and, like, more systems, AI has a huge tendency to overcode. It loves coding. That's the thing, like, insanely messy code bases. Now, I got you. I'll show you how to structure, like, with a back end, a front end, like I was showing you, and a background, like, background workers. This is technical stuff, guys. But you need to understand software engineering from first principles, or you will never have. There's a reason it's called vibe coding, bro. It's a vibe.
Mm-hmm.
It's not called, like,
Mm.
there's a reason most vibe coders you see online are just building. Are they making money? No, because number one, yes, they're not doing any sales and marketing. They're not getting clients. And even if they do, bro, they will not be able to build a system that truly lives within a business and doesn't just quietly die by third week. Most of automations, bro, most of the clients I have and they come to me, a lot of them have spent money on automations. Companies as well. You'd be surprised. Big companies. And they've very often they're not been flops, failures. They've just burnt money. They go to the wrong people who do not have experience with these things. They do not scope it out. They don't actually map out their processes. Their they don't go with a plan. They just rely on someone, and that someone is just using Claude to code shit, who has no clue what he is doing. And before you know it, they flop, bro. Like, and
Yeah.
that's why a lot of my target customers, ICPs, a lot of them have just fears, like, oh shit, bro, I've been burned before. This might not work, and they do not even believe like it's possible to have something like this. They just are like, sold the pipe dream by media and online, and all the hype people you see, or breaking, Claude just killed GPT, breaking, this just happened, breaking, every day there's a new breaking news in this freaking industry. And if you're serious about making money, you really need to learn how to separate yourself from the noise, because every week there'll be a new model coming out. GPT came out with something new. Now what's the next thing? Anthropic has to come out with something. Llama will come out with something. Elon wants to have a piece of the pie. They'll keep coming out with more. And this industry is literally created in such a way, it's entertainment for a lot of people. But if they will always try to like fear monger you to some extent, but they'll always just keep trying to show you like, oh, this is a new tool, look at this. And before you know it, you're just sitting and figuring out a new tool, thinking it's going to change your life and make you money when it's not. The fundamentals don't
Mm.
change for me, bro. If a new model ever comes out, I don't even do too much with like AI video generation anymore, really. Like in the past, we would be doing a lot of like AI video generation for like projects and things we would do. Dude,
Yeah.
I would not be the person who sits there and tests out like seed dance. I'm sure you've heard of seed dance. That's a new thing. But before
Mm.
that, there was Sora. Before that, there was Veo. Veo was Google's model, Google's Nano Banana equivalent of videos. I would never test it out. I'd have my team do it. My team would do the like grunt work on paper. I'm focused on building, on growing the business, fine, like getting money in. These are
Rev
low
gen
leverage tasks
activities.
you should not be associating yourself with. Yes, this is
Yeah.
great marketing material when a new model comes out. I do it myself because I know everyone, the whole freaking world is curious about it. And if I'm first to market to talk about how I use Claude, let's say tomorrow they come out with new model Claude 10.0 called Destroyer. Claude Destroyer is the new model. If I'm the first
Yeah.
person who talks about it, makes something interesting, I know I'm going to grab all the attention. So I simply leverage them to get attention and get clients. And that should be your perspective. You need to be more on the creator side of things. Stop like, just getting like bamboozled 24/7 by AI news. Trust me, nothing that big is happening. Things exist. Like go and solve problems. Use it to make money. And then coming back to team culture, I know I completely like deviated with some like a whole different conversation. But coming back to team culture, dude, like I didn't learn any of this. I'm sure it goes for you. There's no playbook. That's the
Yep.
interesting
There's
part
no
about
playbook.
I have people who come like, bro, family members, dude. Like I was never a business major. I found it useless. I mean, I don't even know what I do in a business major, but people like, oh yeah, man, I want to open my business, bro. I have a business major I'm studying right now. I'm
Yeah,
like, dude, what the hell?
a business major teaches you how to be a consultant in a fucking consulting firm for
Brother,
bigger
consultants are
businesses.
all
It's
all cool,
fucking
brother. I've worked with one of the biggest consulting companies,
they're
and
dumb
trust
as
me,
fuck. Yeah.
I will not comment on my clients. I mean, well, it's
Yeah.
not even about that. It's not dumb. It's just like think about where this technology is heading, and where are you truly going to be in this circle? Like consultants do, like brother, you can generally just go to Claude now and like all the consulting value they provide to you is it's dissipating quickly. And these
Yeah.
companies avoid even big consulting firms. I know for a fact because I know like very high level people at them. These are things that generally keep them awake at night. But in terms of team building, bro, like I just I one interesting thing is about having a personal brand. This is probably I think Alex Hormozy spoke about this, bro. Having a personal brand means that after you get enough leverage, which means you have following of some shape or form, you can have people come work, like apply to work for you and who know you as a person, right?
Bro, that's how I hired my entire fucking team, bro. Like
Exactly.
everyone was bought
Same.
into
My
my
first
mission and
ever
vision
hire.
before. Yeah.
Yes. We don't have to go and do freaking some shitty job application. I don't have to go on LinkedIn jobs, I don't have to go on
Exactly.
Indeed and all these
And
stupid platforms.
one of the big reasons why a lot of people come and pay us money is because like they get access to my talent pool, right? It's like, oh, he's Meteoric's client, so I'm gonna be like more dialed in. And they've seen like a bunch, like for example, Neeraj already seen you before he actually worked with you, right? And so now he's like a much more sort of trainable team member. So stuff like that. But you were saying
Eh,
Alex Ramosi.
Exactly. Even he spoke about it. He confident. He said that he can attract the best talent in the world because of his massive following and audience he has, and that holds
Yeah.
very true. For me, I've definitely whenever I put out applications because people see like we're building cool shit, dude. And back then I didn't have a big following on LinkedIn. It wasn't even like probably 10K, but I was getting attention. I'd made a Loom video. I'd actually just made a video number one. Even for hiring, I just made a Loom video. Hey guys, we're hiring, we're expanding. And I'd made like an Airtable form. People applied and I made them all send a Loom video, bro. Like that's the power you can hold. I made all the people applying for a job to work with me. First time ever. Like, of course, people wouldn't know that, but and they all made Loom videos, and then I could watch the Loom videos, see their energy, see like, okay, like of course, as you move through life, you very quickly understand like what kind of people you get along with, what kind of people you see potential in, and that's how it
Pattern
started. And
recognition, gut feel. Yeah.
exactly, every single time I've hired someone, bro, it's always been through the personal brand. I'll just put a post on LinkedIn, I'll put a post on Twitter, and I'll just get people who are genuinely like, bro, I really, and now, bro, it's like I'm sure you also get it, but now it's like unlimited people, dude. Every day I get at least like 5 or 6 DMs, like, bro, like, please, I'd love to work with you, both male and female, like, because we work on really cool projects. People understand what we're doing, and they understand like you need to be doing something different, something interesting, and I think that's the coolest part about having a brand. You can really hire anything, dude. Any kind of position I could put out, and I'll get good applicants.
Quite literally, quite literally.
Motivated people as well who are like more who are generally like attuned to the mission. I think that's the
Yeah,
coolest
because
part.
it's
And this,
they're pre-sold, right? They're nurtured by you, your story, or your values, the kind of shit you're doing. They put you on a pedestal. Like it's a different story altogether. They're way more
yeah,
trainable. They're not looking at a role, they're looking at a person. Right? So it's very much that way.
100%, dude.
Yeah.
And that's with hiring, man. Over time, like I will tell like my personality type is I definitely don't like managing people, dude.
Same,
That's
same.
definitely something, but that's I think no founder enjoys it realistically. That is, I think right now, I think to build a really massive it has always been a prerequisite, but I think that prerequisite is dropping over time, where it's really about having again people who have really like specific roles and they
Yeah,
really understand how to augment the AI. Correct. I have some friends who are like running some baller companies, bro, like on a different level. I would say like, couple 100 million evaluation, even towards the billions, and they're very lean, bro. Like even some of these, bro, Lovable, I think I forgot which tools they are, but some of the biggest AI SaaS company tools we use, they have some of them
yeah,
have really killed it with like really, really lean teams. Not just solo person, right? We're not at that level yet. It will be, who knows? But and yeah, I think my disdain towards managing people, especially, I think that's what lets me also like create like the AI I have, because it's almost been like out of place, like desperation. I have to do it, and I kind of have to do it, right? I have to walk the walk and talk the talk. If I'm going to build an AI for other companies, I have to have the best thing in the world for myself. And you've seen that's how I ended up building the business brain, and you've seen the systems that we have recently and whatnot. And that's how you can create like solve like for Instagram, bro. You did it for yourself first, and then you go with confidence that I
100%.
can solve this exact someone else. It's very difficult to do something you
100%.
can't do for yourself. I don't know how people
That
sell
is
that.
very true.
I would.
That is very true. That's 90% of the service business owners that haven't
Yeah, but
done
I'm not. I'm
what they're.
moving away
Yeah.
from business, dude. That's why I don't consider myself. I mean, I guess right now we kind of are, but you've seen like with the offers I've been shutting down and stuff. Like yeah, I think we've always had service-based businesses, and then we've had pure software. But I think there's a interesting like not a mix, but there's I would say there's a we're reaching towards a point where they're really like instead of drifting apart, or they're really like coming close
Coming
together, where you can.
together, yeah, and that builds insane equity value as well, and it's like good internal IP to hold, right? Like if you have
Mm-hmm.
SaaS tools, I feel like business is more becoming more of like a world that you can build for your ICP, right? For me, at least in my opinion, like this is a vision I had when I was on the mushroom trip as well. It's like, it's not just like service, right? It's not just service. It's not just consulting. It's not just info. It's not just software. It's not just in-person events and travel. It's like how can all of this fucking come together and we build a world that people can be a part of, right? If you're tapping into us, you're getting the best talent, you're getting us our consulting, you're getting our service delivery, you're getting information, you're learning, right? At the same time, you're getting to travel, right? You're getting to hire, right? Like you're getting access to software tools soon, right? Like that's what I envision like Meteoric to be over time, which is like okay, like by buying Meteoric as a whole, you get access to so much stuff, right? So yeah, that's how I see it. Like adding more and more like verticals to the business, right? Like having an ads offer, right? For example, stuff like that. Like anything and everything you need in the online world, online space, like we've got that service, we've got that for you, right? That's the eventual goal.
That's really cool. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
another part is, man, the consumer really, I truly believe it, and that's how I move. It's not the consumer is no longer the customer. I would say is no longer the consumer. The customer now is really the AI, and everything you want to build is for the AI. Common example or denominator is MCPs. This was a while ago. MCPs are still pretty useful, but any tool that does not make themselves available to the AI, in this case, through an MCP, like Notion MCP, Airtable,
yeah,
they instantly completely condense the pool of usage. Because the future way of using most AI SaaS tools on it's already pretty apparent is, for instance, through an MCP. correct?
Yeah.
And you see yourself, bro, if you like, I'm just thinking of a quick example, but let's say I wanted a tool for, simple example would be for Instagram. Here, I have a good one. Instagram DM automation,
Yeah.
right? If I wanted
Yeah.
something like that via ManyChat, and let's say hypothetically there were two, three more tools, I would
Yeah.
subscribe to that has an MCP or
I
an
agree.
API. So now
You'll
you will
stitch it to
also
your
you will
business
pay from
brain.
that.
So you can stitch it
You
from
will
your
pay
business to
from
your
that
business brain.
perspective.
Yeah.
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 Exactly. Before you wouldn't, because then you wouldn't. But as you become, as companies and businesses become more AI native, you are going to be thinking from the perspective of even signing up for a tech stack wherever needed, keeping in mind, does my AI have access to this? Can it tap into that data and bring it? Because only then, and can it then obviously, is there MCP robust enough that I can perform the automations needed? Correct. And that is why I really even everything I build, man, it is for the AI. It is about getting creating SOPs. Like something I've been really dialed upon has been because I'm really I'm in a good spot, bro. Like try really automating, not just automating, I would say, but really like almost having the AI wake up. Like think about it. Like something I've been working on recently, dude, is think about a company. Correct. If you have genuinely like employees pulling in, coming into the company every single day, um, what they would be doing is, sure, they wake up, they come, they log in, and they have a bunch of to-do lists, correct? They have like, okay, I have to respond to my emails, blah blah blah. I have to do this X Y Z. Cool. I've achieved that part of the business where okay, I have like instances like people come in, like I get interview requests. Sometimes they're asynchronous, invoicing, client messages, all that stuff. That's automated. Cool. Even invoices, like generally like an AI, or if it has to fill out an interview, for example, imagine like some GTM company, they say like, Mosh, we'd love to have you, for instance, and like it will help out with your SEO XYZ. Please fill out this form, like this interview, and then you have to open that form, answer questions one by one. What does that mean? It means your AI needs to have headless access to the browser if this is to be automated. Because
Yep.
you would otherwise copy paste everything, and I would be doing stuff like that. But again, like I'm like I
Yeah.
can't be doing this. So
Yeah. I
my
agree.
AI, if it actually scan that email, it will on a virtual browser. I could be asleep. I don't. My computer could be shut down. Open it and headlessly like answer the questions one by one from Codex. Codex is what my like I'll show you eventually when we deploy our AI to the cloud, when you start making
Yeah.
automated processes, and then
Yeah.
it will go back to Fable. So Fable is like the new Claude model for
Yep.
feedback for more
Yep.
sophisticated tasks. So those are like the SOPs. When instance, when a client reaches out with a system that is broken on a client, they're on a Slack channel, they're confused, or they're like, oh, this is not working as expected. Typically, I would have freaking my team doing it, bro, but then I would get frustrated. They get back to them late. They are not capable of answering the question properly. They don't articulate themselves properly on the Slack channel. Communication is poor. They freaking make more mistakes after that. Like they fuck it up even more. And that stuff then it comes back to me eventually. So I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? I'm the one managing my team. I'm the one, and I rely on them to do this, or just simple expectations. This is like your task. You own this project, and that also you like it doesn't go through as possible, then it comes back to me. Now client is dissatisfied. Now that ruins, like that does ruin my day. But now I'm like juggling things I shouldn't be juggling when I already had a plan to do other things. And then I replace it with AI. That's where the AI will know moment it receives that message. It will first wait for 15 minutes, for instance. Why? Because a client could be in his, like, imagine a human, right? A client could put a screenshot of, oh, like Airtable, this is not working over here. But then 5 minutes later, they get a new idea about something, or they just like type
Yeah. Yeah.
again. So it waits for 15 minutes. It goes into the AI that has Codex, basically my business being deployed online. Codex, I just
Yeah.
chose Codex like that. It's the authentication number one. That's what we'll do with you. People are always complaining online. It's like, guys, it's a skill issue. Like you're crying about Codex or, Claude with their API subscriptions because, it gets expensive, especially like when an AI is freaking through an online cloud, like doing all those changes. If you use the API, bro, it's going to burn like for me thousands of dollars a month. But if you just put the online subscription, your OAuth subscription online, instantly becomes a lot cheaper because you're using the same codecs that you use on your computer. Um, but either way, what was I talking about? Yeah. And then eventually, yeah, that's kind of how I just started dropping team members one by one. It was dropping really, was just like, okay, like don't need you really anymore.
Yeah.
And fallen into just like, the bridge between service and software, and just using AI to really do everything, dude. Like, and then create the playbook for myself, show it to the world, and then do the same for the people who want it done for them. That's always kind of been my
Yeah,
strategy.
100%. Like what problems you solve for yourself later turn into offers that you sell to others, right? That's just the way
Yep.
life works, right? Yeah, yeah, 100%. The problems you solve for yourself are valuable enough for um, other people to implement, and that is exactly where you make money in the world. So yeah, very very interesting. Very very
Absolutely.
interesting. What should the next tangent be?
The
Mm,
next, are you talking about life or your podcast, or are you just asking in general?
podcast. So what's the
Hmm?
play, bro? What's the long term play over the next 6 months? Because 1 year is too much to preempt. I feel like we can't like sort of preempt a year into the future. But like, what's the play over the next 6 months for you personally?
I have a couple personally. I have a couple solid, like strong sources of revenue. I want to diversify them, and diversify. I don't mean like to get 100, but I like I was telling you a couple of days ago, right? Money is almost like it's almost cyclical, seasonal. We have like one source of revenue is like the data side of things we do, but it's seasonal. There are times when it's really hot, and a lot of these labs are looking for it, but the times when it's cold, correct? So if I was just purely like my only source of cash was the data, that would be boom, Kalas. So I would definitely wanna pure money wise, dude, would definitely want to diversify, a couple like one thing I already have in the works. Let's see if it works out. Never count your eggs before they hatch. But the same thing I was referring to previously, like that, like, we're partners now. I'm hopeful of that. I think that could be a big one. But definitely get a couple of more solid cash streams where it's just me AI, but I'm just like leveraging what I have in elements that are not just pure B2B or B2B AI implementation, correct? Um, Otherwise, dude, I what I really want to do is get a really strong foothold over here in LA. That's why I came here. That's the first thing I think what I even told you, like why I even wanted Instagram from the get-go, is because nothing really I truly believe what I want personally is absolute power, influence, and authority. Correct? Like truly be capable of making really big decisions that move the world, man. And I think there's no better place if in the world, or one of the best spots to be is LA, right? And just kind of take things step by step, and let's see how it looks like towards the end of the year over here in LA. Think there's so much to do.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Fair enough. Fair enough.
What about you, bro? Are you trying to move to Dubai? Are we trying to get a
Nah, bro. I
Lambo?
don't. I don't. I don't want to move to Dubai, bro. I don't want to move to Dubai. I don't like Dubai honestly as much to like as a city to live. I'm more of a. I like nature around. I like I like more tasteful places honestly because I'm at the core an artist, right? So I like more tasteful places. But for me,
Dude,
the goal is
everything's
like definitely.
even the freaking nature is fake. Like it's a great. I
Yeah,
think it's a
it's
great.
just so. It's a simulation, bro.
It's a
Dubai is a
great place to
simulation.
go, another home in. But living there
Yeah,
again, people do it, dude. I know, like people do it and they love it. But I just couldn't be there the whole year, man. No way.
I agree. I agree. I fully agree. Could just can't function there. And even the vibes, bro. I don't know. The vibes just feel very eerie. There's no like there's no like earth element to like Dubai. There's no like there's no grounding in Dubai. Whereas like there are certain places where you just feel grounded and centered. Like, I just don't feel that in Dubai as much. Um,
Yeah, it's a
for
very
me, the
interesting
six.
type of people over there as well. It's
Yeah,
very
exactly.
transactional. It is also very, again, a significant bro. How many a major percentage of the, I think, what, 94% of the people are expats, correct?
Yeah,
And so it's tough definitely to a lot of people you meet, at least this is what I experienced. Again, my experience in Dubai, dude, is like such a different situation, correct? Like I don't know how I would feel like if I went there now, like, with what I have. But I felt like a lot of people you meet there are cool people, but they're just there on tourism, on travel, on leisure. So it's like they're cool as hell, but they're gone then, you know? It's a very fast moving city, dude. Even with the war, one of my clients, they're a really big educational school in Dubai, one of my clients, and they were telling me when the war hit them, I think this was in March. I think when was the attack?
it was around March.
Yeah. A lot of parents left the country, bro. A lot of parents' families, Russians, Ukrainians, business really suffered commerce, not just for the schools and education over there for K-12 high schools, colleges, but a lot of people left the country as well. Like truly
Yeah,
left it. I think it's always had a reputation as a safe haven in this world, correct? Like with this perfect this picturesque image, and I think that was a bit of a blip in the radar for them, but I think they're doing fine in that way. But yeah, dude, just way too many like people moving around and not the kind of people like I enjoyed, like I'll
yeah,
call homies,
I
ever met
agree.
their boys.
I agree. I need depth, bro. I need depth to people and places. Like if there's no depth, then I feel like Dubai just does not have that depth, right? Like, yeah, that's the main thing. Like just from an energetic standpoint as well. For me, bro, 6 month goal is like very simple. Switch to a more recurring like retainer model. Work with
Yeah.
fewer clients, higher quality clients. We're really tapping into that ICP now, which is like people doing anywhere from 7 to 10 figures. Like that's the type of person I want to work with. We want to go, towards our moat fully, like just fully like focus on making money through our moat, which is positioning and taste, right? Like positioning and taste is the two things we nail the best. So like really zeroing in on that, get to 6 figures a month. That's definitely like a very sort of doable, achievable 6 month goal that I have in mind. Like 6 figures a month recurring. That's definitely something I want to get to. Um, and yeah, grow my personal brand and just keep playing this one game, because I feel like when you have this one game, when I have this one game on lock so well, I know that I can truly be the best in this space. So just keep building, keep stacking the chips in my favor, right? Keep compounding, and
Yep.
my brand grows over time, the revenues grow over time, the wealth grows over time, and live life, man. That's the whole goal, right? Like live life, keep creating lore, keep having motion, keep connecting with people like yourself, and over time, who knows, we might partner up on something. That's something we've always had a discussion on. Like we'll do that, definitely do something in the future together. So yeah, stuff like that. That's definitely where my head's at.
Yeah, man. The right timing will present itself. You'll know when it's right. That's typically how it
Exactly.
goes.
For
Yeah.
sure. For sure.
What's the time in India, man? It's a dark
Yeah.
room over there.
It's eight
It's
fifteen
completely
p.m., bro.
different. I started off with
We
my
we hopped
background
on we hopped on we hopped on call at 4:30 p.m., bro.
at 4:30 p.m. What's the time right now? It's almost
8:15 p.m. So like almost 3 hours 45 minutes. But yeah, bro, that was a sick chat. I think we should like wrap up the podcast there. Any final message to like someone watching this?
um I hope anyone watching this did get value, but
Yeah,
you just remember, I think we're all in different stages of life. We all have different goals. You know, someone watching this, bro, might just be interested in AI. They might be, a young person trying to make, be an entrepreneur. And just give it your best, honestly. Correct. If you are someone like that's the kind of person I can speak to. If you are trying to, do something, start your own thing, just believe in yourself and just let it rip, honestly.
I agree. Nice, nice one. Yeah, I'd say something along the same lines. Like keep fucking building, right? Like don't listen to the world. Zone into what you think your zone of passion and zone of genius is, and just fucking keep stacking the chips in your favor. Because before you know it, shit gets interesting. And when shit gets interesting, that's when you start gaining motion. And once you start gaining motion, it's game over. So yeah, that's my message as well to the audience,
Motion's a big word these days, but even over here, like
bro.
one of my friends, he's like Gib got motion, like got motion. They put it in the Instagram like handle.
Yeah, because like motion is one thing and money is one thing, right? Like money doesn't buy motion. Motion you got to create as an individual, right? Whether it's
Yeah.
the way you operate, whether it's the way you live your life, right? It's like a design, it's life design, right? So I think motion's
Uh,
pretty cool, especially when you're young, right? Adrenaline's everything. So yeah.
fuck yeah. You want to give your socials, man? Like where people can find you?
Bro, I'm gonna link it all in the description. But to find me on Instagram, it's at the rate moksha.vasant. And I'll link yours as well. I think we'll do a collab like YouTube video, like Moksh Vasant and Aryan Margin. So
Uh-huh.
I'll link yours as well. So it's aryan.mjn on Instagram for Aryan. It's at the rate moksha.vasant for me on Instagram. And then YouTube's we're already gonna be collabing on, so that's where it is.
That's a plan, bro.
Fuck
Should we
yes.
wrap it up?
Let's do it, bro. Let's do it. Cheers. Have a good one.
Cool.